Welcome to Talk Around Riyadh, the Wheel of Time showcast. I am your host, Joe Perry, here with my co-hosts, Jen Isgro and Tom Kokoza. How you doing tonight, Jen?
I am doing great. It is a little over 24 hours since we walked out of the panel. Everybody's still running on high emotions, and I'm so excited to get to talk about all the things we saw and break down all the other things that everybody saw.
How about you, Tom? How you feeling?
I'm doing all right, Joe. I gotta say the panel blew past what my expectations were for it. Just in the stuff that again, as Jen referenced, that everyone got to see, and the stuff that we got to see, being live in the room, was I don't want to say even better because
Mhm.
that's not fair, but it was also it was equally as cool. So I'm really excited about that. I will say this, and this is a caveat for later on. The Mets are playing an elimination playoff game tonight, and that is going to directly impact my mood as this show progresses.
Yeah, we might have to do some consoling with Tom, I think, at some point, but hopefully not.
Yeah, there won't even be a stop if they blow it's tied 1-1. If they blow it this game and there'll just be a stream of curses, unlike anything I've ever done on this show.
Yeah, I mean, feel free to just let the expletives fly once, whatever we're talking about. Just come on in, Tom. Share your emotions.
I will do so.
Yeah. Yeah, I see that, Delusions. I was keeping an eye on that Blue Jays game, and they were up like 8-2 or 8-3 when I left it off. And to my surprise, they wound up blowing it and losing.
That's awful.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was bad too. I mean, Springer and Bo Bichette like collided in the outfield, and
Boba Fett?
Yeah, Bo
Yeah.
That's his
Bichette,
real name?
not Boba
yeah,
Fett.
Dante
Not
Bichette's
Boba
kid.
Fett?
Bo
Boba Fett.
Bichette.
Oh, Bo Bichette. I get it. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Springer got pulled from the game.
Cousin to
I think
Boba
he got
Fett.
concussed. It was bad. And that blew the lead for
Oh.
them.
I don't think that was the reason they lost, though. I'm pretty sure it was their pitching.
Well, that if they didn't collide and one of them caught the ball, that would have been out of the inning. They would have been up by 3 runs. That gave up that it was 9-6 and then it was 9-9.
Gotcha.
After that collision.
All right.
So.
Well, I think people really want to hear more about the playoffs for baseball.
Yeah,
So
that's why they tune into this show.
That's why they tuned in, especially tonight when we're got some exciting things to talk
All right,
about.
let's get started. Take my mind off of all this.
Yeah, so
Stress.
we're just gonna talk the whole episode about Comic-Con. We've got know what's happening, and that's about it. So, yeah. So where do we start? I guess we'll start from the beginning of the panel, right? So,
Yeah.
and I believe this was released, right? So Rosamund made this wonderful video of her talking to herself. Her Rosamund, I guess, talking to Moraine, which was pretty interesting. She was driving around the streets of what I guess is Prague. I'm assuming like that. She was having a conversation.
I think it was Rosamund as Moraine talking to a driver who looked stunningly like Rosamund Pike.
I don't know if she was Moraine or if it was a driver talking to Rosamund.
Yeah, because she didn't have the wig on. She had
right. She wasn't
hair.
Moraine.
Oh, that's right. She didn't.
She was the actress, and the driver was just a driver.
Oh, okay.
But I did think
or was she?
When I first saw this, and she was like, "You're supposed to be in New York right now." I was like, I feel like a door is gonna open and like a car is gonna drive into the room, like. And Rosamund's gonna get out and be there. Like that's the feeling. I know that couldn't happen because we're on the 5th floor and there's but it was like almost like a wrestling promo where like a car just like drives into the arena and like she gets out. It's like big surprise! My God, Rosamund's here.
Yeah, I'm guessing this was
my feeling at the beginning.
Yeah, I'm guessing this was the Rosamund couldn't be here, so we're gonna do this.
Right.
I'd say the one big thing that I took away from it, first of all, it was just fun as hell to watch her interact with herself and just like comedic and whatnot. Yeah. But the one big thing I took away from it was that we're confirmed that we're going to be going to Cayenne.
Yes, we are.
She gave it away, so that means no Tyr, right? Because
yeah.
Rafe said we're getting 2 of those 3 locations, Falm, Cayenne, and Tyr. We know we're getting Falma.
Yeah. Did he say was the question, are we only getting 2 of these 3 locations?
No.
Or was it, what was the exact question?
It was something to the effect of like, which of these locations are we going to? And I think he said 2 out of the 3.
Oh, yeah. I thought somebody asked something and he said yes.
He said,
Like
I think he
the
even said
question
at
was like, "Are we
least
getting
two
at
out of
least
the
2 of
three.
these?" And then he
Yeah.
said yes. So I don't know
No, that
if
wasn't the. Hold on a second. I'm gonna pull it up. Now I gotta go pull it up.
yeah.
You guys can talk a little bit about that. If there's anything else you guys
So
took away from that.
I'll
So
before even the trailer began, I just want to give an idea for the people who weren't there. Uh, I had been to New York Comic Con before, plenty of times in the past before it got like super gigantic. This room had thousands of
Yeah.
people in it. Like it was gigantic. The room was huge and it was packed to the brim. And that was really, really cool. We've talked before on the show about getting to watch some Wheel of Time content in like in the convention setting and like how cool it was to see this stuff with other fans. This only kind of amped that up. This was like watching it in almost like a stadium. Um it was
it
really
was
exciting.
it was a huge
It
room.
was
So I have the question, and you're right, Jen. It was
hi, of course I am.
will we see more than one of these cities in season 2? Carrie Tyr, and Falm. Rafe said yes.
Yeah. So
So it
we're
doesn't mean
getting
we're
a
not
we
getting Tyr.
it
Why did
doesn't
I
mean
think?
anything.
Why did I
But
think that?
we're
Because
not
I
getting tier.
think
I mean, we're it's not,
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think that we're getting tier. I yeah, I love it, but
It doesn't mean we're not getting tier, but we know now that we're getting Kyrie
Yeah,
and Fam.
it
yeah,
was.
and she, I think it also right. It also, even though the later clip also like I think directly confirmed this, like it was the first direct confirmation at the end of this that Forsaken will be present.
Right.
Yes, yes. Which I mean, we knew that.
Yeah, yeah, we did, but it was cool for because like
I'm pretty
that's
sure.
like a second level of like
Well,
like we're the super duper obsessive fans and now just the obsessive fans, right? Now
Rafe did confirm that Lanfear was going to be in season 2, right? I think he pretty much confirmed that. So we knew we were at least getting Is She Coming
Mhm.
Back and then Lanfear.
I think this might have a level of presence that goes beyond the people who read Rafe's like Twitter interviews,
Yeah,
right? This is on Rosman's Instagram page, right?
yeah.
Yeah, right.
I mean, who is she?
So
Uh,
yeah, right.
Can I
But-
also say that it was aggressively loud? I don't know if it's because we were in like the 7th row of a room of 5,000 people, but the sound the sound was incredibly loud.
yes, it was very loud, and I think it was because we were in the front,
Yeah.
and the room was very, very large.
So we weren't always in the front. There was like a bunch of people. There was like a bunch of seats that were reserved for like
VIPs.
studio people or VIPs. And then like when it was ready, they're like, "Hey, we have some empty seats," and we just jumped over people.
Everybody ran to the front.
We stampeded.
I
to the
was
front,
trying to get
yeah.
in a row, and this girl was standing in the row, like saying, "Is anybody sitting here? You know, can I sit here for like a good 30 seconds?" And as that happened, all the seats in the row filled up. Thankfully, Jen and Tom were
I
able to
ran to the
procure
row
a seat.
behind you and
like a
ran
row
3
behind.
seats in and sat down.
I was ready
I
to
felt
knock
bad
this,
because I
this
stepped
girl
on
over.
like 4 people's
Wait,
feet.
I'm not
directly.
sure if this actually happened or I misheard the guy, but the guy in the row you were trying to get in,
Yeah.
I think, or I don't know. I was like trying to get past him and he was like, "Come on." Like I was going to like
Yeah.
put my ass and walk past him. And I was like, "Nah, I'll go in the other row behind you." Like,
Well,
I was
I
like,
mean,
that was aggressive.
that girl had to have like a conversation and wasn't sure if the empty seat was empty. Meanwhile, she could have just sat in the next seat. Instead, she had to sit there and block
Nobody
the
was asking
entire
at
row.
that point.
And then everybody
Everyone was
filled up
just-
the other side of the
yeah.
row.
Yeah.
It was fine. We were in the
we
front
were
enough.
okay. It was a large room. I will say that more than half of the people there were there for Rings of Power.
Yeah, definitely.
But there were
Yeah,
still a
it was
lot of
probably
people there.
70-30.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I would say maybe even like 65-35, but I don't know. There were still a lot of people there for Wheel of Time, and I think there were a lot
I
of
think
people
a lot
there
of-
for both.
People around us were there for Lord of the Rings because I felt like we were like woo, and like I heard other people wooing, but like not right in our vicinity.
Yeah,
So it was like a little awkward, but
we were
didn't
probably
care.
obnoxious.
We kept
'cause
wooing.
We kept wooing.
You could probably hear us on the panel wooing.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
were right at the front.
But yeah, so Kyrie Ann, it sounds like Maureen's story now is going to, and she's going to be going to Kyrie Ann, right? Not we didn't just get a confirmation that Kyrie Ann's going to be, but she's going to be going back to Kyrie Ann. Any predictions on what Maureen's going to be doing in Kyrie Ann besides, visiting home, which she hasn't done in over 20 years?
I
I
don't
don't know, but
know.
they talked about Dias Demar. I mean, she didn't reference the phrase, but she talked about how Carrie Ann is known for like all the head games and
Mhm.
everything. So I hope we get like really involved in the political stuff.
So do you think we're gonna get any other like? Is she gonna interact with any of her family? Like, is she gonna go and see her cousin or uh, Barthanas, who's her? He's also a cousin, right?
Is your uncle?
Yes, there's a lot of cousins.
He's
Your
another cousin, I
cousin.
think.
I think it has to involve Barthanas. Like, why? What else would he be doing
We do know he's
if not
cast,
in this
so
storyline? Right. But I don't know why she would go there unless it's to do with her somehow getting her power back.
yeah. But why would she go to Cayenne for that?
I don't know. Maybe a
Well,
person that she wants to talk to about it isn't Carrie Ann.
yeah, or maybe that's where Rand ends up,
Which
right?
we
And
think,
she,
right? We know Rand and her and Lan are together at some point from the BTS footage we saw, and we think maybe that could have been Cayenne that they were in.
Mhm.
So that makes sense.
Yeah.
So she reluctantly goes there because that's where Rand goes.
Yeah, or people are saying in chat, which is also true. Maybe Varen or if it is Aldis Valdi, that like the old semi-retired Aes Sedai who has a lot of knowledge that she needs to go to for research may also be in Carrion right now, and she may be resistant to going back, but feels like she needs to go there.
I just love when you like mangle and Isis.
It's always Adelius and Vandy too.
No, you were like Aldis and
That's how
Valdi.
I say it.
No,
I
and
don't.
then
You guys put an extra syllable in. I don't know why.
Adelaus. There's a D in
You
there.
say
No, but I'm
Adelaus, I say
There's a
I say
Adelius.
D.
Adelaus.
I say the D. I don't say
Oh.
I don't say Adelaus. I don't.
I heard Aldis just now.
Yeah, there's a D in how I say it. I don't. Maybe I'm saying it wrong. That's fine, but
I'm sorry.
I don't put
I'm just
an
thinking
extra
of when
A.
you the
I put an extra A in the front. That's
Don't
what
you
I.
know by now that Jordan, you have to pronounce every letter in the.
Yeah, there's a. I definitely am cutting a syllable out.
Adialias.
Right. I should have just went Van Deen and her sister.
Yeah.
Like, it would have been easier. Anyway,
The
Aldi and
sisters.
Vandy.
The old
Addie and
sisters.
Vandy. There you
Yeah,
go.
Vandy.
If they're even two people anymore.
Eddie and
Could be
Vandy.
one person.
right. Or if they're Varen, like
Or if
which
they're
people are
Haley Mills.
conjecturing.
Yes. Oh, yes. I'm still conjecturing Haley Mills is Varen.
Yes.
I don't think Mira Sayal is Varen. I think Mira Sayal is Shiriam.
That's a weird. I mean, there's no real reason one way or the other.
We're gonna
There's a
get.
real
We have to
weird
get the
change
mistress.
to age Sheriam up that much.
Well, they
As we're
They
way
aged
off
up
what we should be talking about right now.
they aged up Swan. We are way off. We're talking
they're
about
not here for
Cayenne.
this.
We're talking about Cayenne.
We've talked
What's
about
going to
this
happen
already.
there? Is it that Moraine is chasing Rand, and Rand goes there, and she's reluctantly has to go there, right? She doesn't go there because she wants to. She has to go there because Rand's going there, and then she runs into her, nefarious cousin, Barthanas, and I guess we won't get a Caroline. We don't even know if she's going to be a character in the book, but in the show. So does that mean we get the whole party? Like, do we think is the horn going there? I mean, what's going to happen? Are we going to get like they meet up in Cayenne? We all said that we thought they were going to meet up in Falm at the end, but does this mean now there's a chance that they meet up in Cayenne? Like Perrin goes there with the Shanarans.
No. Everyone's
maybe-
in Falma
Yeah.
at the end.
Yeah. So during the
That's just what it is. Everyone is going to be, especially since we know now, like other things. Everyone is Shanshan related somehow. So we're all going to end up in Falma.
Yeah. I think Perrin, like I don't think Rand gets involved with the horn. Doesn't know about it. None of that until the end of the series. Like or the end of the season. Like he's just not in that storyline whatsoever. That's Perrin's storyline, and then it'll end up being Matt's at the end. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, right. So if you saw the panel, if you were able to watch it on the live stream, there was a lot of Rafe talking, about how, and even Matt. So Madeline was there. So all right. So maybe I should step back there. So who was there at the panel? For those of you who don't know, so it was Rafe, it was Marcus Rutherford, who plays Perrin. It was Madeline Madden, who plays Egwene. It was Daniel Henney, who plays Lan.
Island.
And then later on, they brought out Donal Finn, who's playing Matt, and then Kira Coveney, who's playing Elaine. So there was a lot of in the conversations, even with Rafe and even Madeline and I think Marcus also talking about this. They continued to emphasize how the characters are split up and they're going on their own journeys, so to speak. And then they're meeting new people, which is kind of bringing in the new characters into the show, and characters that'll probably be there for a while. So I tend to agree with you both. I don't think maybe there's going to be a reunion in Cairn. I think the reunion happens in Falma. But it would have been interesting to have them meet up in Cairn. But they could, right? They could meet up in Cairn. And then
Judging by
and
what
then
Stop
Wade-
trying to make Cairn happen.
Yeah, it's like
and then
fetch-
Waygate right into Falma. Like Cairn could be episode 7.
Who's
No
meeting
way.
up in Cairn? Like
There's no-
Rand and Moraine and Lan and the
That's it.
Shinarans?
And yeah, Perrin
Perrin
and Loyal.
the Shinarans have their own storyline with the White Cloaks and the Aiel and the Shanshan. Like that's it. They're
Okay.
going.
Yeah.
They're following the horn. They're
I
going to
forgot
Falm.
about that
That's what they're
too.
doing. They're
Perrin
gonna be meeting with
meets
the Aiel,
everyone
with the
in
White
this
Cloaks, with the Shanshan, and that's what they're dealing with. Between what we heard Marcus say, what we saw in the sneak peek, right? Like that's it. Like he is not gonna. They're not gonna see Rand until, and like what Marcus and Maddie both said about the fact that they didn't get to see any of their co-stars' storylines. They didn't get to see them.
Yeah.
Like some of the stuff like that would happen, like they haven't even watched yet, so they really don't know. Like there's no like.
That's insane.
It
I
was
completely
very-
forgot that Perrin's literally with the Aiel, the White Cloaks, and the Shanshan.
The
It's setting
Shinarans.
That's
his.
that's
it's
what.
setting his
And
back.
the Shinarans are. I mean, all those like that's a crazy change because none of that happens.
But that's setting up Perrin's like
It is,
latter
yeah,
half
but
of
it's
the
just
books.
that's a lot of.
he's getting exposure to
people.
all those cultures.
I don't know if Perrin.
Now.
I don't think Perrin's going to interact with the White Cloaks until the end.
I disagree. I think that they're going to interact. Like I want to say, they're going to interact twice before it looks like Perrin. I mean, this is where we're going all over the place. But it looks like Perrin and the Shinarans get captured by the Shanshan. I think that they're going
Yes.
to interact with the White Cloaks before that,
Mm.
and that's when he rescues or saves or somehow
Avienda, maybe.
Avienda.
Oh,
right?
that's right.
And
yeah.
then
Yeah, it's
they're going to
crazy.
rescue at the end, right? Because the White Cloaks are going to think that Perrin Ibarra is a dark friend, right? That has to happen. And that's going to happen when he kills them, saving Aiel, right?
Okay.
Again, probably when Elias gets killed there, because I think he will.
We did get.
And then
I was just going to say, sticking on the Perrin storyline, it sounds like we're getting Hopper
Yeah.
yes,
from
yes,
Marcus
you
is-
teased that out of him, Joe.
That wasn't the answer I was looking for. But I did get to ask a question as soon as they said line up for questions. I didn't have a question in my head. I literally jumped out of my seat and ran up to the microphone, which we happened to be
Go,
sitting
go,
right
go.
by, which was
Yeah.
awesome. I was like, oh my God, we're sitting right by the microphone. But I had like some vague thoughts about questions I would ask. So thankfully I had time though to think about it because I was second online. But
Can I interrupt you really quick before you start talking about what you asked?
go ahead.
Because me and Tom were talking about this on the way home, and 2 people mentioned it on Instagram. You did not ask the question that you said you were going to ask, which was, how far was the cave from the camp?
Oh no! See,
And 2 people were like, I can't believe Joe didn't ask about the cave.
you
I'm
should
like,
listen.
I forgot. I totally
I'm
forgot.
glad
to.
you did it, man.
I know you would've
Tom
lost
didn't
the whole
forget.
room, but
Because I was like, we were talking about questions beforehand because
Oh
while we
my
were waiting
God.
for the panel, we were in that room outside the panel waiting online, and the panel that was going on. There were audience questions going on, and I was like, oh, that's so cool. Like, what if they do audience questions? We were talking about we'd have to come up with some questions, and it didn't even cross my mind. I guess I was so like nervous and anxious about it that I don't think I would have asked it anyway, though.
I
Because I
know,
feel
I
like that would have
know.
been a waste of a question. But yeah, so I asked about, Perrin getting over his grief, the grief of killing his wife, to kind of make room for a future love interest. And I was vague about it because I didn't know. first of all, I didn't want to spoil anything for anybody in the room who hasn't read all the books, but also I didn't know how much Marcus knew, and he did not know clearly
Not that much.
because he didn't give me an answer any indication about Fael. He mentioned about a canine companion.
Yeah.
So I'm
Rafe
guessing
is like,
that,
Marcus doesn't know about this.
yeah.
yet.
Then Rafe was just like, he doesn't know about this.
Oh, that's so
And
funny.
Rafe like jumped
Is
in.
this where this book is going?
Yeah.
Am I gonna have a
I get a
relationship with
girl,
wolf right now?
hooray!
I bet. How much you want to bet? Marcus asked Rafe afterwards. Am I gonna fuck a wolf?
Yeah. Oh my god.
As long as I do it as a wolf, then it's kind of
No.
okay.
No.
It's like that episode
Kind
of
of okay.
it's like Black Mirror, that episode of Black Mirror with the what was it? Striking cobras. What was it?
Oh, the video game one?
Yeah, the one with Anthony Mackie.
Yeah, with the two guys, the
Yeah.
friends that have sex in the video game. Yeah.
Then they
Right, great.
then they try outside of the video game and
Yeah.
they're like, nah, this is not only in the video game. Only in the Wolf Dream, Hopper.
Yeah.
Only in the Wolf Dream.
Like
Oh my
being
god.
John Malkovich, same thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
Anyway.
Anyway, so yeah, so it does sound like, right, there's a lot of conversation about they're going to be separated, right? We're getting this, they're going to be separated for most of the show. They're going to do their own thing. We really didn't get that much from them talking because I think every time I'm sorry, I don't even remember his name. The guy who was moderating the panel. I'm
Yeah, I
sorry,
don't
I should
either.
have.
The
I should
TV
have
guide
written it down.
writer?
Yeah, the guy from TV Guide. They would look at Rafe and be like, kind of like, can I answer this like question? So they were very well coached on what they could say. So a lot of their conversations and their answers were very just general and broad. They didn't really give any specifics.
I also kind of felt like they were like deferring to they were either deferring to Daniel Henney to answer first, or he would just jump in to fill the silence because he's like done more panels than they have. It seemed like if everyone was kind of thinking and no one knew like what to say, he would jump in and like talk first. He's kind of like their dad.
He seemed very comfortable, I think, being able to give answers that weren't spoilers in a way that other people are like, I don't know what I'm literally allowed to say or not about, like, because it's so crazy for them, right? And more of his questions were more like motivation based and less like plot based, I think. So he had a leg up there. One other thing I want to mention about Perrin before we forget just about Marcus's answers is that he also alluded to the fact that he is going to be starting to take on a leadership role. And I really think he's assuming like a lot of the Rand and Shinaran's storyline, right? From the Great Hunt, and the fact that like he's going to end up being the number 2 that ends up having to be the number 1 guy, right? I'm very curious to see how that works or whatever it is, but I think that's
he also talked about the violent side of his character and how it sounded like he was saying you were going to see some of that, like the violence unleashed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and the moderator said something like, "You can be a weapon," because he talked about the 2 weapons a little bit, or not wanting to use weapons, and then the moderator said something to him like, "You yourself could be a weapon."
Yes.
Yeah,
meaning like when you turn into a wolf, but like I don't think they wanted to like explicitly say it.
Yeah, so I'm kind of looking forward to that too. I think we're gonna get Perrin, kind of unleash the wolf inside of him, and kill. This might be, I don't know. Do you think this will happen at the end at Falmo, or do you think we're gonna get it when, like as we think, like say rescuing the Aiel from the White Cloaks possibly?
Yeah, I think he's going to. I mean, I've said this before, but I think Elias is going to die with the White Cloak attack or whatever, and he's going to go buck nutty then, lose control, and kill a bunch of White Cloaks, and in the process, rescue Aiel who are captured. Right? Like, that's not the intent necessarily. But yeah, I think that's what's going to happen, and so he's going to have that again, and he's going to have that whatever, and he's probably not going to fight later on, and they're going to get captured by the Shansha because of it.
Yeah. And my other question was, I snuck in another question about when season 2 coming out, and he didn't answer that, but he did mention at some point, right? like it's a while away or
Yeah,
a
a
ways
long way
away,
off.
Yeah, it's
a
not
long
anytime
way
soon.
off, which I'm guessing means next year at the
Oh,
earliest.
definitely next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that you can still do something in March, and that would be a
I'm
while away.
hoping like
Seems
right
longer than
after.
that.
Yeah, oh God, don't
Way
say
you
that.
said it.
I
I
was
thought it was
hoping
like May or something.
the end of like the January, the latest. I was hoping, but we still don't have
He
any.
was like, it's still a long way off. Like it's nowhere even near where we are right
Well, the
now.
fact that they didn't even like give us any hint or notion of a release month makes
Yeah.
me think that they're still far off because
Or they
otherwise,
don't even know when it is
I
coming
feel
out
like
yet.
if they knew if it was going to be obviously if it was going to be within the next couple of months, we would know. They would say it
Right.
at that point. So yeah, it does lead me to believe that might not be till February, March,
Yeah,
which is
I
crazy
think
because
February is the earliest that we would get it, and
I
I
don't
think
think
that that's
that's a
unlikely.
long way away. That's like 4 months from now.
but I
To
mean
me, the way he
February's
said
5 months
it was
away.
like it's not even worth talking about when it's coming out because it's so far away.
but
That's a
this so
long time. 5 to 6 months is a long time for like television.
yeah, I mean, this is what I
Half a
want to
year.
talk about. This means it's going to be like a year and a half in between seasons. And this season, the filming for this season wasn't interrupted by COVID. I know they said there were some things that happened early on in filming that kind of
Yeah.
caused them to have to change things. I don't know what that was about, but like you can't do a year and a half in between seasons. Every season can't be that long.
Yeah,
People
I
are going
don't
to lose
think
interest
that.
unless you're like Stranger Things or something like that where
Yeah.
people will wait for it. You're going to lose a lot of people. They're just going to be like forget about the show, and then when it comes back out they're going to be like, yeah, that show was cool, but it wasn't good enough for me to really put it back on, or maybe
So,
I'm watching other shows now and I can't fit that one in.
so there's a couple of things, right? I think one, even though this double panel that they had at New York Comic Con was definitely like, hey, Lord of the Rings super fans
Mm-hmm.
that haven't seen Wheel of Time, check this show out, right? And we'll talk a little bit later about like what they did to try and grab those fans who may not be initiated with Wheel of Time, but they don't want to back to back these shows. They don't want to like have people directly compare them, right? So you don't want, especially because I imagine the last episode of Rings of Power is going to look really, really, really like a lot of money was spent on it. And not that Wheel of Time looked cheap, but they didn't look like it had as big of a budget, right? The whole way through. So I think you don't want to do that. And because of COVID and because of all the things that got delayed during COVID, like we've talked about this a little bit in the show, but we don't talk about it a lot. Like VFX studios are just super behind on
Mm-hmm.
getting stuff done. So
Yeah.
there's just delays. That's not going to happen every year. I think
Yeah.
once this is all through, like there'll be a more regular cadence of when this show comes out. It's just I don't think it'll be another year and a half. They're writing it now, and they're probably going to go into production around the time that the next season's coming out, or maybe before then.
Yeah, I have a question then. Just it's a little off topic, but you talking about the VFX kind of brought it into my mind. Do you think with season one that obviously because of COVID things had to stop, and we know like with filming, TV movies, whatever, anytime like things get delayed, it costs money. Do you think that they had to cut? Not, and then I'm not talking about time because obviously they wanted to get the show out, within a reasonable amount of time, and they could have held off if they really wanted to. It wasn't like they needed. It wasn't like it was the second or third season where they wanted to try to get it out without such a big gap between seasons. Do you think that they had to reduce the budget for special effects? Like they said, okay, this is how much money we're spending on season one. Oh, there's a COVID lockdown. We're not going to increase the budget, or we're only going to increase the budget by X. So that means you're going to have to eat into some of some of the other things that you planned on spending this money on. Do you think that happened and that affected like the special effects or any of the post production?
I don't know if it's exactly it, but I do think that there was a desire to get it out, to have it be done because it got delayed so many times. And I do think that like there was a desire just like we have to hit a date. We have to like get this we have to get past it. and just get it done with. And they had dealt with so much with the last 2 episodes. I think that there was some rush job there, but I think the most of the SFX stuff that wasn't great, the visual effects stuff that wasn't great in the last 2 episodes, was just because they had to create it out of whole cloth, and that wasn't what they had intended to do the entire run of the show. So there wasn't as much lead time to get it completed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't anticipate that we're going to be getting shots like that, like the Trollocs attack at Faldara, where it's all all VFX. I don't think we're going to be seeing shots like that in the second season.
Yeah, that's a good point. I do want to point out it was a back-to-back Wheel of Time Rings of Power panel, so we stayed for the whole thing, and we did learn that for Rings of Power, COVID didn't affect them as much because apparently, right? I think one of the actors was saying, I think it was I can't remember his name, but the guy who plays the stranger was saying that like COVID didn't really hit New Zealand. So they kept filming during the pandemic because really there was no issue. There was no COVID issue in New Zealand at the time. So it didn't affect them as much.
Yeah, New Zealand locked down extreme COVID protocols immediately and never took them off. Mm-hmm. And then there was no COVID pandemic.
Then there was nobody traveling in or out, I guess, of New Zealand, or at least in New Zealand.
Yeah. And they were in everywhere and all sorts of things like that.
And I imagine they were in, the set and probably all staying around the set and probably didn't have much contact with people outside that anyway. Yeah. So interesting. So I guess let's get into some of the clips that we saw. Mm-hmm. So they introduced, which I thought was fun, right? Because I was surprised when Donal and Kira weren't on set, on the stage. I was like, why aren't they on stage? Did they cancel or something? And then I was trying to figure out what was going on. And then, Rafe talked about, how did he lead into it? Did he talk about the casting of Donal Finn, or I don't even remember if it was like a question that led into it?
I think they just kind of played the clip.
Yeah. So they were like,
for you.
Yeah. So they played a clip of Donal as Matt. Do you want to describe what the clip was for the listeners, since they didn't get to see it?
We're going fully describing the clip, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Okay, so it is Matt in a room in the White Tower. He is a prisoner, basically. So Leandrin comes in and brings him 2 desserts.
Honey cakes.
I guess they were honey cakes. I didn't think she said honey cakes.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, because the sound was so loud, I literally couldn't understand what people were saying.
The sound was so loud we couldn't hear what they were saying. It's true.
Right. It was so loud I was deaf. So she puts the cakes down, and then this is the part that I think people will love, sticks his finger into the jelly on top of the cake. The honey, whatever it was. He sticks his finger in the honey and then licks his finger while he's like maintaining eye contact with her the entire time.
Yes.
So that was awesome. That was a part
yes,
of we'll literally kill people. I was like shocked by it. I couldn't believe they did it, but it was
very zoom in, right, of him with the finger in his mouth,
it was like a very slow finger in the mouth.
To that melon gif that gets sometimes, as I think the show would allow. So before that, like there was a little bit where he's like, how did I know you didn't poison these, or like whatever, and like it gives you a second of doubt whether he's still like kind of super paranoid or not, or whether he has reason to believe that she would want him dead, right?
I would have said, I immediately thought of, well, she can't kill you, she's an Aes Sedai. That's immediately where my head went to when he said that. Like, why she didn't say, well, I'm an Aes Sedai, I can't kill you. It's against the 3 O's. Why didn't she just say that? But
well, if he was still tainted by the dagger,
dead,
yeah,
like, right,
yeah,
if I wanted you dead, like, I wouldn't do it via poison.
You would have been dead already, basically.
Yeah. Kind of. Yeah. So she says basically they're just watching him to make sure that the taint from the dagger is fully gone, and then she leaves, and she locks the door with like 6 or 7 different locks, and then each time there's a lock noise, he like moves his hand and clicks it like making all the gestures of the locks closing, and then she walks down the hall. I guess it's like, how many times has this happened, basically? And then as soon as she's gone, he like inhales the honey cakes and then goes and moves a dresser out of the way of the stone wall, and you can see he's been like working at it, trying to escape from the room. So he starts like Shawshank Redemption, digging at the stone, and then that's the end of the scene.
Yeah.
But I was actually thinking, like, there's no like inner, like, if he gets through that stone, he's gonna be in like the room next door, right? It's not like you could crawl through like
No, but there won't be a
like
lock
a regular building where you're like in the walls.
No, he would be in another room, but the door
would
wouldn't
go
be
through-
locked.
Yeah,
He'd
right,
just
I
probably
guess.
walk out into, the hallway. But
Yeah.
I want to say this.
Say it.
He, and I don't want to, he felt more like Matt from the books than Barney did.
Yeah.
It was much more of that kind of, coy, trickster kind of, not as dark and sarcastic as the Barney Matt.
Yeah, well, he's also.
I thought it was more playful and more, more.
But are you
Matt
thinking of
book-like.
first episode, episode, Matt? Because that's
No, just all
even more than that one. Okay.
all of Barney's Matt was kind of cynical and a little dark. Like his comedy was more of like, he would come up with a couple of good one-liners, but he seemed very like cynical. And this Matt, Donald's Matt, seemed a little bit more playful and upbeat, more like the Matt at least I thought of from the books.
I think
It
he
was-
also looks a lot like Barney. Like, he doesn't actually look like Barney Harris, but he look like the hair's perfect, the same. Like, it's.
Well, they
really-
had the robe. The robe. I was like, oh my God,
Exact-
they got the same like robe or whatever you want to call it,
Yeah,
but
well,
it looked like a
if-
bathrobe. It looked like a worn bathrobe.
If you're not us, like, I feel like there's people out there that might not know that it's a different guy. That's if you were just a vague watcher of a show and you don't really pay attention, like somebody's mom,
Yeah.
like, might not pick up on it. That's how close it is, I think.
Yeah, he's got the scruffy face and the curly hair, the curly floppy hair.
Anas is asking, did he have the Irish accent? He did not have it.
Not
he did
as
not have
strong.
as
no.
strong as when he spoke on stage. Definitely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had the,
It was close
toned
to
down.
like he tried to sound in the same kind of accent range that
Yeah.
Barney played the part
Well,
in.
Barney had like a pretty thick British accent, more like where I remember watching the show that sometimes I couldn't understand what Barney was saying.
Yeah,
Just by the way he
it's
talked.
It's not the same, but I think he tried to say in that range, like in that,
Yeah.
like not make it like I'm
No,
gonna do
no.
it in my natural voice now.
It definitely
No, it
wasn't
wasn't.
his original, his
No.
natural accent. It was
Because
definitely
when he
a little
came
bit more
out and started
British.
talking, it was like, oh, this
Yes.
is like a really
It was
thick
like,
Irish
what?
accent.
Like,
Yeah.
sorry? So, a couple of other things I wanted to hit on that because I saw some questions over in the chat as we were talking. Right, when you first see Matt in the beginning of the scene, and the scene's not long. It was about 1 minute. Both
Yeah.
of the scenes that we saw that you guys that people who weren't there didn't get to see were about a minute long. So for the first 25, 30 seconds or so, well, maybe even longer than that, like when he's talking to Leandrin, like he could be dagger affected, right? You're not really sure. He seems very paranoid. He seems very suspicious, but he also could be paranoid and suspicious because he's being imprisoned by the Red Ajah,
Yes.
the White Tower, and like he has to rely on them maybe bringing him food, right? So like it plays it so that you don't know, right, where his head's at.
Mhm.
You don't, much like a lot of the stuff with Leandrin, you also don't know how much she's full of shit, pardon my French, versus how much she's like sincere, even though she's always full of shit. Like how much she's like, no, that's like they maybe really are watching her to make sure he's clear of the dagger or not. It was also really weird because she refers to him as Matt, which is like
Yes, she
super
did say Matt.
cash for her.
Yes.
Like that plays off to like
But is that like, this
there's
is
a
Matt?
little bit of like
I noticed it when she left, right? That was, she said
And-
something Matt,
it
and I
is
was like,
canonical,
Like,
right?
this letting us know that this is Matt for anybody who
no,
didn't get
no,
it yet.
not
You
not
didn't
that.
think
No. That's
No,
not
no,
what
no.
I think we're getting
It
at.
is canonical that he digs older chicks.
Oh, I
and
wasn't
that
even
was-
talking
it was-
about that. I was.
thought it was very familiar. It was a very
It was very familiar,
to
and it
me.
was odd. And I noticed she called him Matt, and I was like, she wouldn't say Matt. She would probably say Matrim or Matrim Cawthon. in that
but because
scenario?
she
Do you think
wants to
she was
get
trying
people
to?
on her side.
She was flirting with him a little bit, trying to
Yeah,
be a
she's
little
flirting with
Yeah, it
him.
was like
catch.
Definitely.
I mean, I
Yeah,
wouldn't say he
Matthew,
was
you were
really
thinking
flirting with her. It was like it was a weird.
Anas.
He's like,
He is, but I don't think he really. I think he was just being like, I can't even describe like
Anas
what
is
it
putting
is.
no,
Matthew in the
but okay.
Discord
So
chat,
that's
and
that's
I'm totally thinking of when Kate Fleetwood was on a dusty wheel and she called Matt Matthew.
Oh yeah.
yeah. So, but
Matthew,
like,
and
but I guess the thing that I want to emphasize is that, right? So like that whole scene happens and there's interplay, but there's also like you don't really know either their motivations or either their head spaces or whatever. Then like when she closed the door and she does all the locks, it's like it's very like it reminded me of like watching a caper film and you like the guys know the routine of the guards so much, like,
yeah.
and it's kind of lighthearted.
Yeah.
Like it
Well-
became very, and then like immediately like his personality changes and you realize, oh no, he's not impacted by the dagger at all. Like he's completely in control of himself and he was putting on an act while
Yeah,
she was
I
in the room.
think I want to just move it along, but yeah, I think I just a quick question and just I guess yes or no because I want to be mindful of our time, but do you think there's a healing, like they healed him again, like did a full healing, or do you think he's just healed from the dagger from what Moraine did?
I don't think they healed him again.
I don't think they heal him either.
Okay, so you think he's
Someone
fully
asked if we
healed
think
from
this is the
Moraine?
first. Pardon?
Yeah.
You think he was fully healed when Moraine healed him?
In the way that I think he ever is truly fully healed from the dagger,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's it. I don't think there's another thing. I think it's going to be sprung on casual viewers as a surprise that he's in the tower. Like, I think you're going to have like an episode that's in the tower for the most part with like all the people that you know should be there. And then you're going to be following Leandra down a hallway. She's going to open a door and you're going to be surprised. And I think that's a way that it would play for
Okay.
a casual.
Yeah,
viewer.
I wasn't sure if it was his first scene, but the amount of like description that she said, like, well, we're still watching you to make sure that the taint from the dagger from Shadar Low, it was like a lot of why would she say all that
So
unless
you
it was
think
the
that's the
first time
first
we're
scene?
seeing him.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
a good point, Jen.
Yeah,
That
it's
is
like a
good
lot
point.
of remember what happened to him and all that. So
Okay.
and if it wasn't, I think, yeah, like I'm sorry, I know we're talking about this a lot. I think if he wasn't fully healed, we would need to get the dagger back, right? Or he would need to get the dagger, but if he is fully healed, we could just like this dagger story is over. Like if like Pat and Fane could still have it and it could still be like a terrible dagger, but as far as like Matt and the dagger, let's just like move on.
Right. And that makes more
Yeah.
sense
Yeah.
because Matt doesn't care about the dagger after book 2.
Right. And
Really,
this is
book 3,
book 3,
right?
Matt.
I mean,
So
yeah, they could still keep it the way, right? That they need the dagger to fully heal him of it. I mean, because after he was healed without the dagger, he was much better and more Matt-like, but they still needed to get the dagger to kind of
He's
just.
still dying.
yeah,
No,
I
but
don't
he
think-
was much
He was
more
yeah,
like
his
himself. And
personality
he
was
was
better.
yeah.
But
He wasn't
I
like,
think
yeah.
I think
Well,
we can be done with
like the
that. I don't
stuff
think we
that-
need that anymore.
he's not going to be involved in
Yeah,
the Hunt
right.
storyline at all. Like he's going to have
No, but they can retrieve the
Dragon
dagger at the end
Reborn
of the.
storyline for Matt, and
They
then
could-
he's just going to show up and follow him because that's where he's going to go rescue the girls.
But I'm
Like,
saying
I
they
think
could.
that's
They could just do it where he gets the they recover the dagger and the horn at the end of season 2 and he gets healed. It doesn't have to happen on screen. It could happen, in between seasons. Matt's healed now because they got the
it
dagger
could, but
back, and
he's not going to go back to the tower. He's going to the waste.
doesn't have to
in-
happen in the
Also-
tower.
There's no reason why anyone in Faldara would want to get the dagger back. They're
No,
going
they don't
after
have
the
to-
horn.
Yeah,
Right.
but I'm
So
saying
why would
when
they have
they
to
get
get
the
the dagger
horn.
back?
No, what I'm saying is when they get the horn back, they get the dagger back at the same time. It just happens to happen.
Right, I guess, but like he doesn't know that Fane has the. No one knows.
Yeah, right. It's like
no one knows that he needs the dagger and Fane has the dagger.
Yes.
Those two pieces
Well-
of knowledge are separate.
No, well, he knows that he knows where the dagger is because he's still connected to it, if he still is.
No, he's not.
I'm saying if
All right,
he
forget
is,
it. We don't agree. Let's move on.
if he is, he's still connected. All right, let's move on.
I think it's just
Let's
extra
move on.
stuff that doesn't
Let's
need
move
to.
on.
So, yeah. So Donal comes out, right? They talk a little bit to Donal. One of the things that caught my attention was that he talked about how he's a big fan of Kate Fleetwood, and that was like the first thing
Yeah.
that he shot was seen with her, and he was kind of like in awe of her and kind of, you know, a little bit giddy or whatever, because he's a big fan. He'd seen her perform on theater and whatnot. So I don't know if there's anything else you guys wanted to talk about specifically with Donal and his comments.
The only thing I want to say is that he talks about the fact that like he's really like part of his motivation, his self-discovery in season 2 will be like, what kind of person is he? Is he the kind of person who abandons his friends, or is he not? And I think that that's going to drive whatever his eventual storyline is, which is like, hey, I can cut and run again, or I can go save my friends because Egwene's in trouble, right? And I think that that's going to drive his decision. Like he could get out of all this and be free, or he could stay in this and go rescue his friends, and he's going to decide to do that, and that's going to be his character growth and change and arc in this season.
Okay. So next up, we've got Kira Coveney, was introduced similarly with a scene of Elaine that we got to see. Tom, you want to describe the scene that we got?
Sure. So this looks like, I don't think this is the first scene of Kira Coveney, but
no, I don't think so either.
It looks like this Kira Coveney is entering a novice quarters with Egwene Alvear.
Well, she's entering Egwene's quarters.
Well, yeah, well, but that you don't know that at first.
Yeah, you do, because
right?
Egwene's there already, isn't she? Isn't she in the room already?
They walk into the room, and she starts talking about, oh, you know, I can't believe that they keep these rooms so messy. It's our first day. My room was such a mess, and like they're gonna make us clean it. And I can't believe all that. And she's talking about it like really awkwardly, as you the viewer begin to realize by looking at Egwene's face that this is not Egwene's first day. This is not a new room, and this is just the way her room is, and it looks really bad because Egwene's stuff is from a poor person's collection, I guess.
Well, because she didn't have anything to bring. She didn't bring anything with her because.
Right. So, like, my point is that it is played for a comedic beat that like Egwene's a little like that Kira Coveney, you know, Elaine is very sheltered and coddled and is used to like refined stuff and doesn't necessarily realize. And then when she does, and she's like, oh, and she recognizes, like it's quickly pivots. She recognizes that the blanket over the bed piece is like a Two Rivers stitching or whatever. And she immediately talks about it being Western Andorran.
Yes.
Right, from the Two Rivers region. And Egwene like just kind of like, she doesn't say anything, but she just kind of looks at her like, Western what? Like and Egwene seems to have literally no idea who she is when she like is like, I'm the daughter heir, I'm Elaine Tracan. Like Egwene's never heard of Tracans, doesn't know who's in charge of Andor, none of that, right? And so like and so it's very like kind of like I get almost an uncomfortable like meeting, but Elaine is like really tries very, very hard to take this awkwardness and spin it in a positive direction, right? And so she talks about the fact that they're not roommates, they room next door to each other. It looks like they all have single rooms. But she says there's a long history of Aes Sedai be like having very successful like relationships that started out rooming next door to each other as novices, and she drops Cadsuane's name.
Cadsuane, who was the other Aes Sedai?
I couldn't hear it.
I didn't
she did. She said like Cadsuane, Maladrin, and somebody else,
That's all I
which
heard.
I didn't catch.
But like,
don't forget. Wait, you
like,
forgot one.
Like
you forgot one thing. When she called Egwene her subject.
Yeah, you're my subject.
Right.
Because she was like, I'm the daughter.
Literally
like,
staring
she says
at her.
like, oh, I'm the daughter of heir, and Egwene's like looks at her like, who? And she's like, you're one of my subjects.
Subject.
Right. She's trying so hard to like. It's like if you remember, like early Elaine is like that a lot. She's trying really hard to connect with people on like a human level, but has only spoken to people like in her role as daughter of Andor.
Yeah.
So like she doesn't know how to like. She's trying to make a connection. That's the thing. It's not like she's trying to put her in a place. She's trying to say like, no, like we're from the same place, and I'm gonna be the queen, and you're my subject, and that's cool, right? But like it's not landing the right way. but it doesn't come off like elitist at all. It comes off like very
Ignorant more.
ignorant, but like human and awkward. Is what like I
Yes.
was gonna say. Like,
Yeah,
so
ignorant, I guess,
it
is a
was,
strong word for that, but
yeah,
and a
yeah.
positive word for ignorant, I can't think. Oh,
So I sent this to you guys afterwards,
what's
but this scene.
What?
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry, go ahead, Joe.
No, I'm trying to think
Um,
of the word. There's like a word for that, like ignorant, but like in a kind of positive, cute way. But I can't think of it right now.
yeah, it's just it's all, but the reason I liked the Matt scene, I loved the
Naive.
Matt
There you go.
scene, and I really liked this scene. And the only reason that I didn't love this scene is because I was waiting for Egwene to let her know that the Two Rivers doesn't even know what Andor,
Yeah.
like, does not consider itself part of Andor in any way. Like, and it was like
I
it
would.
was almost there, but it wasn't. She
Yeah.
does do this thing where like Elaine like introduces herself and she gives like her whole title or whatever, and Egwene's like, "I'm a Guinevere," like, and just like kind of
Yeah.
like colds her, but like it was a very good scene. It was a cool. I don't think it's an introduction scene. I think that you are probably going to see the White Tower from Elaine's entrance. Like you're going to get a couple of scenes with her.
Yeah, I
Like a
think at least
personal.
one scene. It didn't seem like that was Elaine's entrance scene at all from
Yeah,
just the
yeah.
dialogue. So I think we're gonna see something else before that. I was waiting for like I was waiting for Egwene to say something like, "We haven't seen a tax collector," like
Well, she wouldn't
that.
even know. She'd just be like, my dad's in charge, like, or whatever. Like, her dad's not the mayor. I don't even know if her dad's the mayor in this scene, but like, uh, my family is in charge of the tubers.
Yeah,
I feel like it's gonna like take Elaine the season to be like their real friend. Rather than like in the show where like the four girls are just like, should we be besties? We're besties now. And like they're just friends. In the did I say show, I meant book.
yeah.
But on the show, it feels like Egwene is probably just and Nynaeve, I could just imagine. It's gonna be like, oh, this girl's like trying too hard and I think it's gonna take time, which makes sense for the show. Take time for her to like really get to be like their good friend. I think by the end of the season she will be. Obviously, there's gonna be things that she'll
And they
take part
talked a little
in,
bit
you know.
about that. Kira talked about that when on the panel about her and Egwene and Nynaeve and their relationship. So she
Yeah.
did talk about their relationship. So I don't know. I think it might be. I feel like it might be even before the end. I feel like maybe the second half you're gonna get
Yeah.
into it because she did talk a bit about the relationship and she specifically mentioned like her, Egwene, and Nynaeve a couple of times and
Yeah.
about their relationship. So I think unless she just knows, I don't know if she's read any of the books or she knows how far ahead she knows, but it seemed like that was going to be a focus
Yeah.
for
I would.
for
think
season
they'll
two.
be together a lot. I just think that like Nynaeve and maybe Nynaeve especially might not consider her a friend
Mhm.
until stuff starts happening and they get closer and she really gets to know her better.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if Nynaeve doesn't warm to her until
Oh no.
they're all like they're hiding from the Shanshan while
Yeah,
Egwene's
right.
there, right?
Yeah.
Like when
I think,
Egwene gets taken and
With
they're together
their
and they have
first team
and
up.
then she yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
and Rafe does make reference and made reference in a way that you're going to see more of this later, that it's only like mildly seen in season 2, but like you get to see the Lion of Andor side of her character a little bit in this season. Like
Yes.
it's not just the queen who's very
Yeah.
high posture, whatever.
You're gonna get
But
her
you get
brash.
to see the fighter side of her,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Her reckless,
Cool.
her brash, reckless side.
Yeah, it could be that part too.
I don't doubt it. I have a feeling it seems like they're getting into those character traits really early on in the show. So I think we're going to see reckless Elaine like in this season
Yeah.
where she thinks she's
I
kind
will
of
say this, I
immortal
think
and
that
do stupid things that should get her killed.
I don't, Rafe had made mention in interviews since they've been cast, since they've been announced, like how great they are, how much he's like they nailed it, how like blah, blah, blah. And like I don't think it's a coincidence that those are the two people who came on and these are the scenes that they showed, because I do think that these actors both nailed the part. I do think these
Yeah.
actors like are immediately engaging with audiences. And we talked like this was done in part, this tandem panel was done to say to the 65 to 70% of the people who were there who were really into Rings of Power, like, check this shit out.
Yeah.
Well, all right. I'm glad you said that because I think I disagree with you there. I think those were more for the fans.
No, I do, but I think that. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say what was for the people who didn't hear about or don't know what the Wheel of Time was or know a little bit about the Wheel of Time was. They showed before, and I think this was the first thing they showed. We skipped ahead, but they talked. There was actually, I guess this was like literally scripted to get to there because the moderator specifically talked about the cold open for episode 7, and they showed it, right, which was obviously a clip from season 1. So this was clearly, I think, what's the best scene that we can pull and show that will get anybody here who's here to see Rings of Power interested in seeing the Wheel of Time. And they showed the cold open for episode 7, which was really cool on the big screen, I have to say. And I want to mention one other thing too. It was very cute that all the panelists, every time they were showing clips, they all got up and turned around to watch them because they hadn't seen a lot of them hadn't seen the clips before, or had only just seen them like right before. I think they made a comment just seeing them right before the panel started.
All right, I want to just say something about that because that was also misdirection.
You think?
I realized that after the Donal one. I'm like, oh, no. They got up, they looked at the screen, and then they moved the chairs in. But the motion of them getting up and turning around, like, blocked the audience from realizing
I don't think they moved the chairs, though.
They moved the chair on stage twice.
Oh, they did put a chair on stage, but...
That was done.
No, because not everybody did it. At first, it was only like...
I know. No.
Because like Marcus was like...
meaningless. It's meaningless, but like someone jumped the queue.
Is that what you think? You think like, it was all scripted that they got up to look to watch
I think
the
that was just like, okay, look, we're gonna bring a chair on stage when the lights go dark for the Donald scene and for the Kira scene, and so everyone just get up because we're gonna have to move a chair on. We don't want to like bump into anybody or whatever the case may be.
But they didn't move chairs over. They just added a chair to the end.
No, I know.
Yeah.
It was.
I think they were literally wanted to watch the scenes.
They did. No, I just think that it was also a little bit of, like, just like, even though I don't know why they wanted to surprise people because the two people were announced for the room. Like everyone was like, why aren't they there in the beginning? But still.
Well, I think they wanted to go with the scenes.
Like announce them.
Yeah, they wanted to announce them.
But like they played it off like it was a surprise both times.
Oh no, I didn't.
I guess that was weird. If they didn't, they shouldn't have announced them as being on the panel, and that would have been so. How cool would that have been if we did not know they were going to be there, and then they came out? That would have been so much better than us knowing already that they were going to be there.
I like knowing. I don't think they played it like a surprise. I just figured they were going to like announce them.
Yeah, it would have been cool if we didn't know. But so, do you think they won over any Rings of Power fans with their 107? Cold open.
Yeah, I think so. I think that the reaction to that clip was across the room, as opposed to some of the other stuff. The Rosamund thing was cool, but people were just like, okay, I don't know what's the Forsaken. I don't know what she's talking about.
Yeah.
But like that scene, like everyone was like, holy, like I forgot I hadn't watched it in a while how gory it is.
Yeah, I thought that too. I was like, they maybe should have warned people. It was really graphic.
Yeah, it was awesome. And I hope it won some people. We'll see, I guess, if Amazon will know if the numbers jump after the Comic-Con panel, if it was effective.
So I want one thing I thought was, this is a little bit off from the panel, but the next panel was the Lord of the Rings panel, right? The Rings of Power panel, and I'm not watching that show, so I don't know, whatever. But they were trying really hard in that panel to be like, yeah, girls rule and shit. And I was just like, it was almost like they were a little envious of like how legitimately cool the women. They are cool. I don't know. Like I could tell from just the way they were talking about it in the clips that they showed or whatever. So I'm not saying like they're not cool in Rings of Power, but like it was like they were trying to get as much that audience, you know, like that. Like I felt like it was a little bit like they were compensating. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. All right, interesting. Um, should we get to the little teaser we got for season 2?
Yes.
Sure.
All right, let's get to it. We've been talking for about an hour now, so we might as well get to the footage, which I've only watched it like twice because I watched it there and I think I watched it today again. So I haven't gotten to see it as many times as everybody else
I
has
watched
gotten
it
to see
clip by clip today.
I did watch it today. When I say I watched it once, it was very slow. So I've seen a lot.
Okay.
So I'm gonna, for those of you who are gonna be watching this on YouTube, you'll be able to see, and hopefully this video doesn't get taken down. For those of you listening, we will describe what we're watching, and I'll call out the timestamps from the YouTube. This is from the Prime Video YouTube channel, so I don't know if the timestamps might be different from like what they posted on Twitter or what they posted on Instagram. But if you go to the Prime Video YouTube, this is what I'm referring to. So I'm gonna skip all of the first 20 seconds or so, which is literally a recap. What they called a recap of season 1, which is literally just flashes of scenes from season 1 for the first 22 seconds. And I don't think I didn't go frame by frame, but I don't think there's anything there from season 2 that we need to know about. So, so the first image we get is horses riding down a sandy mountain of some sort. I got no image. They're not white cloaks. I'll say that much, because nobody looks to be wearing white. Any thoughts or ideas of who this could be? First,
Shinarans?
Yeah, right. Shinarans, possibly.
I agree.
Yeah.
This
Okay.
is
I'm glad we all agree.
Yeah, I didn't get a lot out of this shot.
All right. I'm glad we all agree on that. All right.
Next scene.
We've got Yosha topless at a window.
All right. So I watched this a couple of times.
Yeah.
And then I watched a couple of people kind of talk about it, breaking down. I want to give Rebecca at Rings of the Pattern, reading the pattern, credit here, because she pointed this out. These windows that you see, you see again in this trailer, and you've seen in the sizzle reel previously. But in the sizzle reel, Min is in front of those windows.
Oh, I know what scene you're talking about.
And she's 100% right, and that opens up a million possibilities for me.
So do you think this is the very end of the season with Min and him, after he's recovering from his wound, or do you think this is something else?
I think this is something else. I don't know what, and I don't know where, but maybe, I don't know, maybe they find each other in the foregate, and this is where he's hiding out. He's hiding out with somebody who he met for a night.
I don't know. I'm not convinced.
You're not convinced? You gotta look at I would say I'm recommending, I'm giving a plug, watch her video. She has
in her video you saw it?
Yeah.
I saw a
she
picture
shows
online.
she
but
shows
I
the
didn't pick-
screens.
Okay.
It's really good.
All right. Yeah, I have no thoughts except that there's a lot of topless Yosha in this thing.
Yeah, well,
All right. Here we go. We've got a Shamael. This is a new Shamael scene. I don't think we're surprised by seeing him, but I don't see any indication of where. So we're at 27 seconds right now. I don't see any indication of where he is or where this could be.
So I think those are the same windows.
No.
The whole
lighten this image.
The whole
if you
show
lighten
takes
this image
place
up,
in this one room.
I think that there's a possibility that he's appearing in his dreams while he's hiding out here.
Well, then, the next shot is Yosha's a close up of Yosha opening his eyes. So, I mean, if this is sequential, I guess this could be
sequential,
a dream.
but I think it might all be from the same, the same chunk of scene.
All right, I'm gonna move on to what appears to be a Shamael walking in some. This looks like it's kind of. Is this the Eye of the World again?
Yeah,
It-
maybe he's walking out of it.
Shia Ghul
This is pretty
Maybe
pathetic,
it's Shia
Shia
Ghul.
Ghul.
when they're walking through the cave.
Shia Ghul's got a nice little shrub over here on the right. I don't think that's.
Listen, he's got a good decorator.
I.
Okay,
This is not. No, this is not Shia Ghul.
this is show Shia Ghul.
No, show
Let's
Shia
keep
Ghul.
going because look what's happening next.
What's happening next, Jen? Oh, here we go.
This.
The bloody hand. 31 seconds. We've got a woman appears or somebody with long hair extending their arm, and it's covered in blood. All right. Who is?
And then, but
Oh,
go one more frame.
That's one more frame.
No, I
All
mean,
right.
come on.
3 more frames, whatever it is.
I'm going frame by
So the
frame,
next
literally.
thing happens.
I don't want to go to that. Oh,
This
and then a
is what I want to
hand
talk about.
Touching another
Reaching
person.
out and pulling this person.
Hands touching hands. Reaching out.
I mean, there's a lot of blood. It's all good. She's literally drenched in blood.
So
I don't
what is
think
this?
that this. I don't think this person is like injured.
I
It's
mean,
just a. I don't know. Maybe
It's-
it's almost like she's being born and she's covered in like
Ooh,
like
nice, Jen.
blood from a womb. That's kind of what it seems like because she
So-
doesn't look like she's hurt.
The dark one's womb.
Yeah, right. She's being reborn into the world, and he's reaching out and pull. And you said something like to this effect last night, Tom.
Yeah.
So
So if this is sequential, right? We've got Ishamael walking in this dark place that could be the eye of the world or maybe not. Then we've got a woman in a similarly lit place with or
Yes.
not a woman, somebody with long hair with blood, and then a hand reaching out. So you're saying
That's
that's
a woman.
that's Ishamael's hand,
Yeah,
like
that's his
reaching
hand.
out,
yes,
saying,
absolutely.
"Welcome back
think
to the
Brendan
world."
has taken enough note of Shamiel's outfits. That's clearly his.
That's the
his
jacket,
suit
yeah.
cuff, yeah.
It doesn't look like his hands, but maybe just because
That looks like his jacket cuff.
it doesn't look like
That's
the
him.
hands I thought it would have been him. So this is like, "Welcome back. You're free from the Dark One's prison." Lanfear?
Could be anybody. It doesn't have to be specifically Lanfear because I think they're all getting out.
So I want to call back to a leaked piece of video footage from some screening or sizzle reel that we saw of a woman lying down on the ground who appeared to be not Natasha O'Keefe opening her eyes. And wasn't there blood in that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was this probably.
So is that confirmation then that Natasha O'Keefe is Lanfear? If we're
We don't
connecting
know
the
that
two?
that was Natasha O'Keefe.
It looked
looks
very
like
much
it.
like Natasha O'Keefe.
I would say seeing this yesterday was like, oh yeah, she's probably Lanfear. I don't know confirmation, but I'm saying it's much stronger for me.
But look
Although
at
this
her
does
hair,
not-
though.
There's nothing I can tell from here that this is her.
Yeah, this hair, it looks like a light colored hair. This looks like Ayula Smart, the hair wise.
No,
Well, I think the blood is just
she's drenched
making
in
it-
blood.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the
pumped up.
lighting. I think it's the lighting.
It could not be her. It could be
It might be
somebody
like
else.
Grendel.
Hell, the manager could have long hair.
Could
We
be
don't know.
anybody.
This is Demandra, Tom. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, yes.
Those
The
are-
manager
Commander
has very
confirmed.
thin-
I have
very small wrists.
I'm gonna say
Delicate,
that's
if you will.
definitely a woman's arm and hand.
Yes, this is a woman.
This
I
is a
know-
woman.
Yes, I know it's a woman.
What's
I
on
don't
her
know.
arm? What's that flash? What's that
Flash?
I think it's a
Fashion.
shine.
Is this a shine on her arm?
Where, on a hand or back
Like
to
on
the
her
left?
near her elbow, on her forearm.
That is not her elbow. I think that's her shoulder that you're seeing there.
Yes,
We're at
that's like her
31
upper arm.
seconds for
What?
those of you listening.
That's like her try.
Yeah, that's her shoulder, tricep kind of area. I think that's just
Okay,
the
okay.
lighting, as
I
Tom
see
said,
it.
because there's
Okay.
the same light that's glistening off her bloodied hand.
Okay.
Oh God, I don't know. This is one of the most intriguing shots of this whole little teaser we've got
This
here.
also makes it seem like they're all like more buddy than, or that a Shamiel would even bother doing this. Makes it seem like they're closer on the show, perhaps
But-
more friendly.
So, what's the circumstances surrounding this? Like, does a Shamael like just reappear back at? Let's just pretend this is the eye, because that's where,
I don't think it looks anything like the eye, though.
that's where that big seal was. It does look like the eye. There's
You
like
think
the
it
stone
does?
on the ground, and then there's also
I
like
just think
dirt.
it looks like he's walking up like the steps of.
And
Well,
there's-
I guess.
Yeah,
I
remember
guess
there were the steps that they walked all
Yeah, I
down the
guess
steps
so.
to the eye.
Could be.
So is this like a Shamael reappearing at the eye, and then like we see that, from the broken seal, the big
Yeah.
broken seal at the end of season 1, that like she emerges or is just appears or is just there, like lying down all bloodied?
Yeah.
Does she open, maybe that open eye scene is like she opens her eyes and then we see this, then she gets up and she's all bloodied and whatnot, because there was blood in that scene that we saw.
But this
Yeah.
makes it look, this to me makes it seem like you don't see her face in this. So if it is Lanfear, then she could be Celine and you wouldn't recognize her from this. This
Yeah.
looks like they're hiding her face with blood-soaked hair. So the opening of the eye thing could maybe
You
be
see her face.
later when we realize that this is Lanfear.
Oh, that's good.
Oh,
Like it's
yeah.
from this scene, but we
A
don't see
flashback,
that
maybe?
part until later.
Maybe they
Like
flashback.
this to me looks like we're not going to see who this person is right
Yeah.
now.
All right. Yeah, the hair's throwing me off though, because
The
it
hair,
looks
it's like
like she
the
has,
grudge hair.
it looks like she's got blonde hair or
It's
light
like
colored
Carrie
hair.
at the end of the
Yeah,
movie.
I don't know. That to me could be just like a trick of the lighting. I'm not sure about.
All right, let's
that.
move up to 33 seconds. We've got a lot of people sitting around a table, all dressed in
How many
black.
people? 1, 2,
12.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
12
13?
plus a
12?
Shamael.
Yeah,
Okay.
plus a Shamael.
All right, this is the Dark Friend Social.
But
Yes.
is it Forsaken or is it
No,
the Dark Friend
no,
Social?
this
Dark
is not
Friend Social.
Forsaken.
I
This
at
is the
first
Dark
thought it
Friend
was
Social.
Forsaken.
But the Dark Friend Social was whatever. Okay.
Well, it's a little different.
It was a bigger
Also,
party.
like,
Well, they were standing around in a circle. They weren't all sitting
Yeah.
at a table.
and
and
this is like clearly designed so that you can see people's arms, whereas that was like in the book, it's a little bit like Bors is very observant and notices what people are trying to
yeah,
hide.
well,
But
So-
here, like,
somebody in a red skirt and
Yeah.
people with really blue sleeves.
So I
people
think
with really white sleeves.
Yeah.
I think the blue is for VFX,
Oh,
but I'm not
that's
100%
because it's
sure.
ridiculously blue. Wait,
I
Yes.
don't
there's
think so,
something
man.
else that I think
There's
might
no-
be being taken out of the show later when we get to it, which I think these shots aren't finished.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's something else I see later that unless I'm wrong,
Oh, okay.
something that does not belong in the scene.
I
unless
thought
I'm-
I saw that blue and I thought it was obnoxiously like blue, and
yeah, it's like ridiculous blue. But don't they usually use green for effects now, not blue?
but they'll do blue too, I think sometimes.
Yeah, I don't know. They're really
Someone's
blue.
saying there's a blue overlight, because look on the
There
if
is.
you look
Look
at
the
the
middle
bottom,
of the table.
the table, and then the bottom seat, that seat right in the center on the bottom, the handles of the chair are blue.
Right.
So it could be the lighting, I guess,
Okay.
as well. So who do we have sitting here? We've got obviously a Shamael. We've got a
Mhm.
bunch of other people. Somebody's
A
wearing
red
gloves
skirt.
down here. We got a red skirt. Is this a red sister?
I
Is
would
this what this is
imagine
saying?
Could
so.
be, yeah.
We don't see any Aes Sedai
Just
rings.
cloak everything except the bottom.
We've got people
You
wearing
can't see
gloves.
anything yet.
Look at the white cloak.
Yeah,
Where
we
do you
got
see a
somebody
white
with white
cloak?
sleeves on
The
the,
guy
left.
with the
sleeves?
white arms and gloves.
We've got white sleeves on the left. We've got
That's clean.
Can you make the picture brighter? For some reason, it got dark. Are you guys seeing that
Yeah,
too?
yeah.
or-
No, it's the
it's
where
zoom,
he is on the.
it's zoom,
Oh,
I
okay.
think, probably.
Can you move up a frame or back a frame?
I'm moving forward frames. It's probably
Okay.
zoom adjusting the light.
All right.
Sorry, guys.
Oh, here's the next scene that I was just gonna say.
So, is there anybody you can make out in this? Is there anybody you
No.
think you see here?
Absolutely
Well,
not. They
I
have
think
hoods
Leon
on.
is going to be in the scene,
You
and
think
you
who?
won't know necessarily right away. But I think she'll be in the scene.
Who?
I
Alviarin?
think Ingtar's in the scene. There's
No,
going to be a
Leon
Shadar
Trent.
in here.
Alviarin.
That is Bors. I don't know who Bors is going to be, but that's
Oh,
Bors.
the white cloak.
And yeah, at the top, Gikieri pointed this out on Twitter earlier today. The top of this circle in the screen, there's someone who's really small,
Yes, there is. You're right.
and I'm like, is that Millie Skane? She's the only really short dark friend that jumps
Maybe it's
to mind.
maybe it's Pater.
But she's also which I think is a very odd choice. If you get a chance to zoom in on this photo, which we can't do here,
I
We're
can.
watching
I
the
can take
video.
a snapshot and then pull up
but like
the.
her sleeves are like furry, which I'm like, is she from Saldea, like somewhere where it's cold? I don't know. So, very interesting stuff.
Yeah. Hold on. I can pull up the picture. I think I have to switch the. Hold on a second. Oh no, I'd have to add a new one here. So I'm not gonna. Give me 1 second here. Let's add. Sorry, people. I'm just gonna have to live with this. All right, let's pull this image up. Oh no, it's not going to let me do that. Forget it.
Okay, let's move on.
Yeah, that's all right.
I want to say something about the next shot.
Hey, Joe, why don't you go on to the next shot while you're doing this,
I
and Jen
don't
can
know
talk
if we
about
can.
the next one.
But
Nope, I'm going to... Here we go.
he refuses to let the show move on.
I refuse to let the show go on.
That's all right. We'll fix it in post.
I'm trying to get it in, but I don't know if it's working.
Oh, that's good.
That definitely didn't work. There we go. Okay.
Okay, this is exactly the same test so far.
Now it's still not working. All right, sorry.
Oh my God.
What? Relax.
Move on.
I don't want to move
Okay.
on. Calm
There's
down.
a lot more stuff to talk about.
Calm down. I'm trying to get this to work. That's yeah, it doesn't want to pull the photos for some reason.
It's all right. Don't worry about it. Like it wasn't like that. I don't know.
All right. I'm
I
upset
said what I
about
wanted
that.
to say anyway.
I'm upset about this because I can zoom in on stuff, but whatever. All right, moving along. We don't know. We know there's a white cloak there, and we got a little person there, and I don't see anything overtly Shinaran. The person at the bottom left, the one next to the two to the left of the red dress, are they wearing gloves or are their hands just really, 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 really dark?
I don't know.
I can't see. It's kind of dark.
Yeah. All right. I'll move to the next. I'll move a little ahead. All right. Oop.
Okay.
I went too far.
One more.
There we
Keep
go.
going. Right there.
Here we
Okay.
go. We're at 34 seconds.
Can I point out
Yes.
what I want to point out? Is the Shinar in the middle holding a baseball bat?
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. I was like, what is this guy got? A
What?
Louisville
It
Slugger?
looks like a baseball bat.
The
I know
one-
we can't zoom in, but it absolutely is a baseball bat.
No, that's a baseball
I
bat.
stared at it. Like, are they gonna make that something else?
I don't
like-
know.
It's Lucille.
I don't know. Like, that's what I was thinking. I was like, is he just holding this and then they're gonna replace it with like some other kind of weapon? Or is he just beating people with a baseball bat?
I don't know.
Seems weird.
They are American, after all.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that.
Okay.
I thought the same thing, Jen, when I saw it. I was like, what's going on with this? It looks totally like a baseball bat, and I don't know why they had it there. I can't answer that. Sorry.
Okay.
But
no
we see Uno
Yes.
being held to the ground or on his knees, and some sort of creature.
Is that a creature or is that like a battering ram in his face? Like,
Why would
I
they
don't
put
know
a
if that's
battering
an
ram in
a-
his
Yeah,
face?
it doesn't
don't
look
know.
like an actual animal. It looks like a metal or like a construct. Doesn't look like like an alive animal. I don't
Yeah,
know.
but it also could be a stand-in for an animal.
Could be, yeah.
But-
Why would they?
Like a CG animal. I don't know. What I'm looking at right there doesn't look like it's like finished.
Maybe they're like, talk or we're gonna ram your head off.
I don't know. I didn't even notice that there when I first watched it. I thought he was just kneeling in front of someone.
I don't know. I'm not really sure.
Like,
what's
who's the
going on.
person with the mouth piece with the half the head
I
painted?
think that's a Soldam.
Oh,
the
the one up
Soldans
close.
wear the thing with the mouth?
She's wearing like a sparkly bluish dress.
Yeah, but what's in her mouth?
Well, maybe she's a demonic. But she doesn't have a
Because
neck.
the-
She doesn't have a
I
collar.
know. That's what
I think she's gonna be like. I think that's a Soldam. I don't know though.
I don't know. That's tough.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah,
really
a lot
sure.
of different Shanshan words popping up in
Yeah.
the Discord chat.
So who else we have? We have in the center in the back. That's Marcus. It looks like.
Yeah,
Um,
Loyal's there.
Too, right?
Loyal, and right next to Loyal, that's Arnas. Federvicius.
okay.
So that's Massima. And then, so if you look a little bit to the right, like in the dead center, there's the Sean Chen spear in the foreground. Like a
Yeah.
little bit to the right, there's a guy there wearing like a white shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on that person?
No.
No.
No?
I just assumed he was with them and was another person that was captured. But I don't know who he is.
Oh boy. I'm going to see if I'm going to attempt again to zoom in.
We'll move on to the next thing. We can talk about that while you attempt to zoom in. Like,
No.
I feel like
I don't
No.
know if he can do that. How could he?
take the screenshot.
There we
Maybe-
go. But now it's taken over the entire screen. But
Well, if you could zoom in for a second, it's fine.
hold on a sec. All right.
Oh, that looks
there
like
we
it might
go.
be like a chest piece of some sort of armor.
I can't zoom in on this. Darn it. Oh, here we go.
There's also.
Ooh.
Nope, that's too much.
Here we go. This guy right here in the center.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Who is that guy? Is that a white cloak?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe a white cloak. Why
But
is there
we've-
one white cloak?
We've got Marcus over here. We've got
But there's another guy.
Arnas.
Wait, go back. Next to Marcus, there's another guy in like.
Oh yeah, there's more guys in
behind
white
the-
shirts. There's another.
Yeah, maybe they're white
Yeah.
cloaks. There's a.
Wait, is that
Ooh.
Is that
whoa,
Eamon Valda?
Somebody is saying that might be Galad or Gowan.
scroll over again right there? Oh no, I can't really see this picture because I'm on Tom right now. Hold on. I don't know why. I can't.
Just trying to get a better shot of the
Um,
of this creature.
Yeah, see, that's definitely carved. That's that's
Yeah.
carved.
You think
Now,
so?
that could be a stand-in for an actual creature in the show, but I don't think so. I think it's more likely.
It's so weird though. It's right in front of him. They're looking eye to eye. I
They
think that's
are.
one of the Sean
Maybe that's-
Chen
somebody wearing like an elaborate headpiece or something.
Cod piece.
crouch. This is cod
Crouch.
piece.
It's a cod piece.
You don't think
know.
that's one of the Sean Chen creatures, like a
It
Grolm
could
or a,
be.
not a Grolm, but what is a Torm?
Saber-toothed tiger?
Lopar.
Lopars, Torms, Grolms. I don't
Yeah.
know. We've
Go
got-
back. Go back to the right. A little bit.
Oh, you want to go to this guy?
Is that the end? Is that the last guy?
Yeah.
that's-
Then
Yeah. All right. Forget
then
it.
we're
You
just
show me the
getting-
baseball bat thing because I didn't see that.
Oh, you
It's
wanna
a
see the baseball
bat?
Hold on.
It's literally a baseball bat.
yeah.
Look at it. It's a baseball.
Oh,
It
yeah,
is a
that's
baseball. It's even got the
bat.
little knob at the
Yeah,
end.
I
It's like they
know.
literally
That
were
is
just
a
like, "Give me a
100%
baseball
baseball
bat and let's paint it."
Right.
What?
I
what?
love that. That's like an electrical tape. That's like
Like an old school stickball bat with electrical tape
Oh
on
my god.
I hope it's like it's just a relic that they found that they think has power.
it. All right. Hold on a second. Let me. Okay, back to the video.
Okay,
All
go
right.
ahead.
Okay, we got Perrin getting up from kneeling down or something. We got Loyal in the
He's
background
not
there.
happy about this.
No,
at all,
this looks
guys.
like it might be part of the same scene,
Yeah, I think so too.
or at least the same story. All right, we've got.
This means nothing to me, but
This means nothing.
It-
But where do you think this is? This
He's
is
in Farm.
Palmer.
so we're at
He's in Farm.
35 seconds. We've got Donal Finn with, I guess it's a farm background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's-
Oh, that was
Ah,
literally.
This is
framed.
those fingernails blew my
So
mind.
good.
Okay.
I never pictured them anywhere near that long.
So 35 seconds in, we've got the familiar Sean Chen image. We think this is Karima McAdams.
McAdams,
Yeah.
We see her fingernails like a foot long.
But those aren't real fingernails, right?
Oh no, they are.
like-
Look,
No, look underneath. There's like a thing around her finger.
No,
like
watch.
She's wearing
Yeah.
them.
hold on.
I'm holding.
See, that's
No,
not.
look, no. Oh, the metal is around her finger.
Yes,
Around
that's
it's like
the
an elaborate.
Oh,
Yeah,
I thought that
that's-
was a
Jen,
part of that.
in real life, they probably are holding
Well,
the
yeah.
fingernails on, but I think that's supposed to be something different. But I I always thought the Sean Chen had. I thought it was their. I thought they always mentioned it was their like pinky and ring fingers that were grown long, wasn't it?
The higher up they are, the more I think the more. But like, I love this because obviously this is where it comes from. But I never put it. I never put it together. If I did, I put it together and I forgot. But she's too high up to have to use her hands to do anything.
Yeah,
She's so high up that people are gonna hold her food for her, and
that's the
that's
idea.
what this
Yeah,
tells you.
like they
I
don't even wipe
love it.
their own ass. Clearly,
Yeah.
this has got to be Soroth, right?
Yes.
Right? Is there anybody who doubts that this is Soroth? I mean, we know we're getting Torok as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think,
I
you
think
see
I
him
see
later on.
Turok later. Yeah.
yes, we do. I think see Torok later. So I'm going to move forward from this, but this is definitely Soroth. I like that we're getting
And I
her.
love this outfit. Can I just say how much this costume
Yeah.
kicks
So
ass?
good.
So
The
is this?
Shaunchen are terrifying.
Yeah.
Their face makeup, everything about their like helms, they're really scary looking.
So while you're going through, I'm going to say a quick thing about this because Rafe made a comment in the panel about them that made me think of the way that people describe the writers and directors of The Dark Knight describe the Joker in that movie, which is the Dark Knight has a plot and the Joker just comes in and just does stuff, and that stuff just wrecks whatever the storyline is. Like, and there's a coherent storyline and progression and character arcs for everybody, and then the Joker is just this agent of chaos that just ping pongs around and disrupts everything. And that's how Rafe describes the Shanshin. Here's this very traditional kind of fantasy story. Then the Shanshin come in and like just knock all the pieces off the board and rearrange them and like just disrupt your whole idea of like
Yes.
what you're dealing with here. And
Yeah.
I really like that.
So do you think the introduction of Soroth is this? Does this mean we're getting the Leandrin brings the girls to Soroth scene that we get in the Great
Yes.
Hunt? Okay.
I think so. Maybe not exactly the same, but
All right. Yeah, we get those fingernails. Yeah. I'm going frame by frame. Sorry. All right. We've got Moraine talking. I don't have audio for this. Sorry.
this is like my favorite line of the trailer.
What's the line, Jen?
You have no conception of the power they wield. I love it. And she's talking about the Forsaken, I guess. You
She's
think?
talking
is.
with Lan. Yeah.
I think she's talking about the Forsaken. Like they're
And
out.
Lan's face is so like you've
looks-
never seen him really shaken before.
Yeah.
Like you've seen him more emotional in season 1 than I think we expected, but he's just like looks like he's totally
Yeah.
at sea right here.
I feel
really
like I feel like this is not because he's afraid of what Moraine's saying. It's
Yes.
he's afraid of how she's acting.
Yes.
And he's never seen her act this way before,
Yeah.
and that's why he's kind of shaken, not because he's scared of the Forsaken.
right. And he has no tether to her that he can like sense what's happening underneath.
Yeah.
He's just reacting to her on the surface.
Yeah, Daniel
Yeah.
Honey talked about that, about how his bond is broken with her while, she's lost access to the power. So it's kind of unfamiliar for him because it's been 20 years and this is like a shock to him.
Can I say that just talking about that? Like, I wasn't like hyper familiar with Daniel Henney's work prior to this, but the level of insight he has into like the layers of this with the character, the fact that he's like,
Mhm.
this bond is broken, but they still have the bond of traveling together for 20 years and knowing each other so well as to that. So there's like levels to their relationship that some are still there and some are severed because of the power and some are severed because of his relationship with Nynaeve and all these different things. I was like, this guy like really understands what's going on internally into his character, and that really pleases me. Sorry.
Yeah, so we just get another shot at 39 seconds of Sean Chen
Assholes.
with their
Wait, you skipped? Oh no, you didn't.
No, I
Sorry.
didn't. Their armor. How awesome is the armor of the
It's
Sean
sick.
Chen?
Oh, it's great.
This is amazing, and
It looks like Venom a little bit.
yeah, they didn't
Yeah.
go really for the. I don't know. They're
It's
kind of
insectile.
insectoid.
Yeah, they are. Look at the eyes.
Yeah,
And
I
like
guess-
the thing coming up. Yeah, I think they
Yeah,
are.
they are kind of venom-like. I like that.
They do like,
I like
Venom
that thought.
with the yeah.
All right, now we've got
This.
Nynaeve.
Oh, this.
Nynaeve in a field.
I think this is the accepted test.
I agree with you,
think
Jen,
Jen is right.
100%.
I don't know why I sang it, but I wanted to.
It's gotta be right. She's in
Yeah,
outfits.
she looks different. Yeah.
By the way, her sleeves look similar to the pillow that Rand was laying on, the same fabric
Ooh,
pattern.
nice, Joe.
Uh, but yeah, right. This is definitely got to be her accepted test, right? What would she be doing alone in a
Yes.
field like this? Unless
And look
this
at the
is
light. The lighting is all
Her
weird.
clothes, yeah, like her skirt is like short. She's like knee socks on.
those are her
Yeah, her hair is
stockings.
It's
shorter
like
and
a weird
unbraided.
outfit. Yeah, like
Unless this is like when the Shanshan capture Egwene, and this is like
And
her.
like
no
put her
way.
on the
Look at the
Elysian
lighting. The
Fields. Like
lighting
this
is
is
weird.
Elysian.
Like it's like a
This
dream
looks like
almost.
this looks like Russell Crowe, right? The
Yeah, this
flashes
is
of
the
him.
Gladiator. He's just like
Gladiator.
he's right off screen watching them weep.
He's like, oh, what are you doing here?
Yeah, no, it's definitely accepted test.
Oh yeah, Erin is pointing out in chat that it looks like her natural hair.
Yeah.
It does look like Zoe's natural hair for sure. Yeah, there's no braid. Oh wow, yeah, I didn't even
I wonder
notice.
if she's like
No braid.
young, like this is the one where like her mom is in.
Yeah.
Like she's her young self. She hasn't braided her hair
you mean
yet.
El Nosner?
Yeah, El Norsner. The famous El Norsner. Because she's
These
her
socks,
hair's not
yeah.
braided. She looks like she's wearing like kind of childlike clothes. I don't know.
Okay, so this is another one of those scenes where it looks like it could be sequential, right? Because she's looking off to the right at something, and then the next clip, the next scene, is Lan
No.
topless
No,
with a
that's not
sword.
That's not sequential at all. He's in the woods.
Yeah.
That's true. It
This
is a
is
different
him.
scene.
This is him doing whatever he can to
He's
like.
doing sword forms.
Yeah.
And he's practicing sword forms.
He has to protect Moraine at a level that he never had to before. He's the only person that can confront,
Friend.
any kind of threat right now.
It's a combination of confronting and befriending. Confront.
I gotta say, this guy is cut up. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he looks pretty sexy there. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Okay, this scene is what the fuck is this? This is Nynaeve. So this is all right. So remember the BTS footage for season 2, right? There was the scene with the people looked like they were training in the tower. I don't remember who. I don't think there was anybody clear cut who was there. We thought maybe it was Gowan. This looks like the same room, and we joked around how this is like the hall of the tower, and they just threw sand on the floor and pulled out the chairs.
Yeah.
But
is that Maxim behind her?
it
I
looks
think
like
that is Maxim. Yeah.
what does Nynaeve do? Nynaeve. Okay, we're at 42 seconds for those of you listening. We've got Nynaeve in her accepted / novice dress. We're not really sure. I don't see any white bands. I don't see any colored bands on the bottom.
That's an accepted. It has the belt. The other one doesn't have the belt.
Okay. And she's swinging a sword at Waters in the water training area. What the fuck is going on in this? This was the one scene I was like, what is this?
So I think this is.
It doesn't look like accepted test,
It's
but
going
whatever.
to quickly show that Nynaeve is bucking Aes Sedai trends, doesn't want to be an Aes Sedai, and is here for other reasons. And they're showing that by like, you know what she's doing? She's not practicing. She's not studying. She's taking her free accepted time and working with the Waters.
I don't like it.
Well, you don't have to like it, but I think that's you asked what it was. I'm telling you what I think it is.
I'm not saying I'm not angry at you, Tom. I just don't like that could be what it is.
I don't like that they put sand down the hall of the tower. How are they gonna get the Amyrlin seat back in?
Well, we'll get to the Amyrlin seat, but I don't like this. If this isn't part of the accepted test, like one of her, little.
I don't think it is.
No, I don't think Maxim would be in her accepted.
I don't think so
she's
either.
Training with.
I don't like it. I feel like they're
is...
forcing down our throats some of these things with like Nynaeve and whatnot that just aren't Nynaeve. This is not Nynaeve. Nynaeve doesn't.
You didn't even see it. You have no idea what this is.
I know for sure that Nynaeve wouldn't be fighting people with a sword, Waters with a sword, like she's training
fights people
with them.
Knives.
She does attack them like, her skills though with
She's
knife
also,
or. Go ahead.
If they because she doesn't have a block really in the first season, like that's mentioned or talked about in any particular way. But if she has a block and that becomes a plot point in this season, and she's like, I can't rely on this thing that doesn't work for me. I need to figure out something else, and that's why she does this. That is Nynaeve to me. I have to figure out a way to protect him if I can't use the power because the power is stupid and won't work for me.
No, but that's
And
not
then
what she does, though. This isn't because she has a block in the books, and she never does anything like this.
I don't
No,
know. Your
but
people
the
in the
show is
chat
different than the books. I'm
are
not
saying
too.
that you're wrong, Joe.
They're saying that I'm wrong.
That she wishes she had a sword.
She wishes she
Yes,
had a sword.
there's a direct line in the books where she talks about I'd rather train with the waters than train in the one power when she first goes.
Oh, I don't remember that.
But it's like before she gets there, I think.
I think that's just her being stubborn, though.
Right. So she's still being stubborn, but actually doing it.
Yeah.
All right, I don't like it.
Okay.
As Mr. Horse said, no, sir, I don't like it.
Oh, and that's
Yeah, maybe since
pointing out too.
Yeah,
Okay,
Aaron
go, Jen.
just said maybe oh no, I'm sorry, not Aaron. I'm looking at the wrong comment. I was gonna say what Anas said, like she was hanging out with the warders when she was with Lance. Maybe she feels like more comfortable around them because she was hanging out with them for so long.
That's true.
Right. And she's trying like she already has that consummated relationship with Lan and she misses him and she's trying to
Right,
find
yeah.
a way to connect to him.
Well,
I think
no,
that works.
they never consummated that relationship. I think we know that already.
What?
What?
You just
That
said she
relationship
has
was
that.
consummated like probably twice that night.
Oh, Nynaeve. I thought you said with Moraine. I'm sorry.
No.
I'm sorry. I
Nynaeve.
thought you said Moraine. Maybe because
No.
I'm looking at the shot right here, which is
Yeah.
Moraine, sitting down with a dagger, looking like she's in some sort of trouble or distress.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'll say this: this is the same scene as the horse scene from the sizzle reel.
Yeah, I thought that too.
So
And
there's
that
this
like mysterious person that was walking.
with the
Right.
with the
There's
hood.
the weird rocks and stuff.
Yeah, we were trying to figure out who that was. That looks
So
like the same scene.
there's something coming up that, and I think maybe that's again part of the same. They're going very sequential. Okay, here we go. We're going.
is that
We're up
t-
to 43 seconds.
There he
Is this
Turok?
Turok here? The
Looks
bald
like
guy.
him.
This is
He has the nails too.
He does. He's very Thanos looking in this picture.
Oh, those are the nails, Jen.
Yes.
Yes.
I didn't
I don't know how he fights with them, but
I was
he's got.
looking for the sword. Do you see the sword anywhere in his hands?
I think.
Yes.
I
Yeah,
think
he's
he has
holding
a
a sword. So
I was trying to find
and
the sword.
here is how Rand defeats Blade Master because he's fighting a Blade Master that can only hold the sword with his pinky and ring fingers.
He has in
Because-
both hands the long nails,
Yeah,
or just one.
look at it. I think
can't-
there's 4 long nails there. It looks like it to me. It looks like half a Wolverine.
Oh, I don't know. So this is Daniel
The nails are
Francis.
extra weapons. That's true. It's like a short sword, long sword combo.
He drops the sword. He just stabs you in the eye with his fingernail.
They're very.
So
Yeah,
we've
it's like
got
Edward
the
Scissorhands.
banners, right? Those banners that we had seen in those
Yeah.
behind the scenes shots or those leaked photos on Instagram.
I love these shots. I love the
Yeah.
colors.
Yeah,
I do
They
love the
really look
colors.
amazing.
It pops. It's vibrant. There's color in it. Everything's not washed out. It's really good.
You can
So-
see it.
So who is
Yeah.
who is this
Sorry.
person, right? So these are clearly soldiers. On the right, there's the person with the blue skirt. What is
Yeah.
who is this?
That's like his
Sojin.
assistant or whatever.
So-
Yeah, I don't know what the names
Sojin.
are. But now, is that the guy with the pants from the thing we were looking at?
No, he'd be off camera here.
But maybe this is just a different shot from the same scene.
Oh
It's the
yeah,
same
yeah.
scene. It is the same scene.
right.
So
Maybe
you're
he walks
referring
up
to
the
the
front.
overhead shot in the BTS
Yes.
footage.
It's the
Maybe he
same
walks
scene.
up to the front before anybody gets there.
Yeah,
I
he
don't
would
know.
be behind the camera at this point, like
Yeah, he'd be off to the
to the left, yeah.
Okay, fine.
But no, it's the same scene. I think you're right. I think it's just he's not in this frame.
yeah. I do love the colors. You're right, Jen. This looks so vivid and it's beautiful.
The Sean should know how to decorate. I'll
All
say
right,
that for them.
We've got Egwene in the same outfit as she had in the BTS footage. She's looks like a novice dress with a apron
Yeah,
on.
that's what she was wearing in the scene with Elaine too that we saw. She had that.
Oh yeah,
gray
she was
apron.
wearing the apron on.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we've
Everyone
got
looks extremely
Donal.
happy.
Donal, who looks like he's crying, and it looks
Yeah,
like
he's definitely crying.
this looks like the same bed that we saw him in the
Yes.
scene that we saw, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can tell like the roof is right over his head. It's like a prison cell.
Yeah.
I think.
And he's got a tear coming down his left eye. Poor Donal. 43
Don't
seconds in.
cry, Donald.
Maybe they discovered his brick, or maybe
He's-
he dug the brick out and it was just a brick wall behind it.
He was staring at this flame in the foreground for too long, and
Yeah.
his eyes just started tearing.
Shit, it's like,
He's
Oh,
trying to
he's
make
actually
himself
just-
cry. It's a manipulation
Anas
tactic.
is saying in chat, Donal thinking of honey cakes. Or badgers, Amy says. All right. Let's see. Oh no, it stopped playing. My video froze.
Oh no. Fix it. We're almost up to the best shot.
Oh no. Now it jumped really far ahead. Sorry. Okay, hold on. Going back, going back. Okay, here we
Okay.
go. We're back. Oh, it doesn't.
Oh
It's
no.
still freezing on me. All
There
right.
we go.
There you go.
All right.
All right.
All
Oh
right.
man.
46
This one.
seconds. We've got Loyal roped or like lassoed.
Yeah,
He's
I think
very
they're trying
angry.
to tie him down.
Who is doing this?
The Shanchin.
Shanchin,
It's
I
our
would
answer for
imagine.
everything is the Shanchin.
Well, it is.
Yeah,
I mean,
but we've already seen again. We've seen other pieces from where this is, where they're
yeah, with
being
the
attacked.
night scene. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
It
true.
looks
We
like
People are
did
getting
see
dragged away. You see Perrin getting dragged away, remember?
yeah.
All right. It's got a good Loyal roar going on here.
Yeah.
Then we've got Moraine also
Crying in
crying. It looks like
bathtub.
she's naked with her knees up to it, like she's in a
How
bathtub,
are
I
her
think.
knees that high up? That's a weird shot.
No, she's in a bathtub, I think, with her knees pulled up to her chest.
I know. It just still looks. I don't know. She likes taking baths. She's like Elaine. Gonna
It's
see.
not like
Maybe
they have
Elaine's in the
opposite
bathtub with
showers.
her.
That's how you clean yourself.
That is how they clean themselves. So I hear.
But
I have no idea what's going on here. She's probably still longing for the one power, I'm guessing.
yeah, she's dealing with a lot of shit right now.
Yeah.
Her hair seems
Here
together.
it is.
Here we
What is
go.
this?
47
He's
seconds.
literally tied to the wheel.
So
Can't
the
escape it.
wheel, right? That infamous wheel we saw in the BTS clips out in the desert. We've got Yosha tied to the wheel for certain. What?
He's looking down like he just woke up tied to this
Yes.
wheel.
I think
Like he's seeing
looking.
it for the first time.
I think he's looking down, being like, "I look really jacked."
Well, that too, but he's like, what? Looking down at his feet that are also tied to this wheel.
Yeah, he's gone to the Chris Evans chest workout camp, definitely. Yeah, I agree with Jen. I think this is a dream.
He's looking. All right, so
Okay.
it starts with him looking at his
Yeah,
arm.
see?
It looks like he's like trying to pull on the chain or
Look
the
at his
rope.
arm. Oh my god.
Yeah, he hit the gym. He didn't skip.
I want to look.
He's
you can't really see it, but you can see the start of it. He's got the Jesus
The Jesus muscles.
abs going.
muscles.
Yeah.
You can't really see it too much. If his pants were a little bit lower, you get a good Jesus abs going.
Yeah,
there.
he is not hitting the honey cakes.
He's trying to
Like an
pull
8-pack.
himself off. And he looks down and he's like, "Oh, I'm so jacked. Why can't I rip these chains off?" Then we've got a shot of Perrin looking somewhat angry or distraught. Not really sure what that's about. I don't recognize any of these people here.
No. Whose ear is that? Can we
There's
get Matt Hatch on that ear?
Yeah. Oh, Matt, get your ear prints going. Let's find out who this is. That is definitely a distinct ear too. It's kind of like bumpy and whatnot. And I think there's a little hair down there.
Don't
on
knock
the
this
bottom
dude's
tongue.
ear.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I'm just describing it. Tom, you think bumpy is wrong or not nice?
I know what you mean when you say bumpy. Joker.
Oh, he's got the quivering lip going there too, Perrin.
Yeah, he's like so
He's
angry he
he's-
can't control it almost.
Yeah, look at that. Oh, wow. I want to see that again.
Oh yeah.
He's
He's
like,
not good.
all right,
He's
then we've
about to
got,
go into Wolf.
all right, 48 seconds. We've got Uno fighting a Sean Chen. Kind of cool there.
Smashing him in the face with the
Oh,
shield.
he's shield bash right there. What is this person
man.
behind Uno fighting?
Extra 1d6 damage.
It's like a trolloc, like a bird. What is that?
Look at this.
No, look, it's somebody grabbed by the hair. Looks like
Oh,
somebody
Yeah,
in a
okay.
remember
robe
they're
or
pulling
something.
people away by the
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
doing that.
yeah.
in the-
Yeah, they're being pulled by the hair. Look, see, it's a woman
Okay,
or
I
something
see,
like that
I
that's
see.
getting grabbed by the hair. All right, now we've got Swan. We're at 49 seconds. We've got Swan coming out of, I guess
Palanquin?
yeah, like a car
That
wagon.
looks like the Amerlin seat too, though, right? It's like the same
Yeah, I think it's
design.
the Amerlin's
Yeah.
wagon.
So I have a question about this. Is this Swan going to Faldara?
I hope not. I don't think she's going to Faldara.
Where is she then?
I don't know.
You don't think
It
this
could be
could be
her
her
coming
arrival in
back.
Faldara?
She could be going anywhere in
I
Tarvalon. That's just not the tower.
Where would
I
she be
wouldn't be
going in
surprised if
Tarvalon?
she goes out to greet Elaine. Right? It's so important to have
Could be.
the daughter heir there.
No.
That the No, you don't think so?
I don't
No?
think the
Because
Almond would
there's
do
like
that.
are those novices like helping
Yes.
her out? So why would there be novices if she was away from the tower?
You don't.
They could have went on a trip with her.
They're not going on the trip. They have to stay in the tower.
They don't have to. They could go serve the Almerlin. Maybe they're accepted.
Oh, people think that she went. People in chat are saying she goes to Carrion to meet with Maureen. They think that these are Carrion and roofs. Okay.
Groups.
I think this is her carriage, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think this is her. I'm trying to look at in the back on the right. It looks like is that a building back there with like green tiled roofs?
Yes, I think so.
I'm trying to remember Faldara if there was any. This is hard to say.
No, I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't know.
But there didn't have a lot of color in its architecture.
She's got her Aes Sedai ring on. Like, there's
Yeah.
the stone. Can we see a color in that stone? Is there a special stone color? Does the Amerlin get a special stone? Because she's of no Ajaz. Or of all. So she has to have a special stone, right? And it's, what is it, a rainbow stone?
So it's a mood ring.
Yeah.
It just changes colors, like whatever she's feeling. She's got a very Mrs. Peacock-esque headdress going there.
Yeah.
Thank you. I couldn't figure it out, but that's exactly what it is. Monkey brain soup, a
Yes.
very big hit with her.
Though popular in Cantonese cuisine, is not often found in Washington, D.C.
Communism was just a red herring.
All right. I think I don't know. I want to say this is her show arriving in Faldara.
Now I want to see.
I don't think she's going to Faldara.
It would be cool if she did. All right. Sorry. There's so many flashes. It's hard to. I have to go frame by frame to actually get. Oh wow, we get a better shot there of the background.
Yeah.
You're right. It doesn't look like
it's definitely
Faldara.
not Faldara.
Yeah. It could be Carrion.
Carrying my way.
We've got Ishamael yapping, and then we've got some fighting going on. Here.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
So look in the back at the wagon, and then look at the person like running away from the wagon. Is that? It's not. I was thinking that was Patton Fane. He's wearing a different clothes, but
Person running away from the wagon.
like in the back in the white shirt.
Oh, I see.
Oh
what
yeah,
you're
yeah.
saying.
I see what you're talking about.
I don't know if Patton Fane's ever going to pretend to be a peddler again, though.
I don't know.
It's Sean Chen for sure, and is this guy a Shanaran? I think he's got a little bun there, right? Is that a Shanaran?
Yeah. I think this is the end. I don't think this is. I think this is like the towards the climax of things when the Shanarans are working together with everybody else to whoop ass.
Yeah. All right. I jumped ahead there, but we're jumping to 51
man.
seconds. We've got Egwene crying out with that, without a ball gag in her mouth, by the way, but she has that collar on her, which I'm guessing is the Adam, although it's much different than how does Nynaeve figure out how to open one of these things? This thing looks
It's
like
a
a hole.
dicky.
Yeah, it's like a yes, thank you, Jen. It's
like a dicky. Yeah,
it's a dicky. This thing is huge.
I mean, it probably just unhooks the same way. It falls off. You know, it's
That's
probably just
what she said, Joe.
Dicky. Yes,
Everybody's
everyone in
going
chat.
the
Thank
A
you.
Dicky.
Apostrophe Dicky.
Yes.
I love it. I love that.
Dicky.
Dicky. I could. My stomach hurts. Yeah, this is pretty awful.
Well, it's pretty awesome. And I think Rafe even pointed this out, right? Afterwards, he
Yeah.
talked about like there's a scene in there. I remember he said that, like, oh, with Egwene, specifically. And I was like, oh man, I was like, I missed it, I think. And it was so quick. I didn't even
Yeah.
notice this shot.
Yeah, it was you can't notice half of this stuff until you slow it down.
So we've got Egwene wearing her, I guess, Adam, crying out in pain,
A
or
Dickie.
her a Dicky, the a Dicky,
The Dickies and ball gags.
not the Dicky, the indefinite.
It's a different kind of
Article.
show than I thought I was watching.
Yeah. I think there was no doubt. I think that we're getting Egwene captured. I think Rafe's kind of
Yeah.
alluded to this so many times, and now we've got some video evidence, and she looks so distraught. Look at Madeline. Look at the emotion in her face. 51 seconds for those
They
of you listening.
Definitely punched her also.
Do you think like someone kicked her in the groin, or like punched her in
No.
the tit?
Someone punched her in the face. I don't know what you're talking about.
What is
No, I mean,
show?
I mean in real life to get her
No.
to express
Think
that
she,
emotion.
oh, she thinks she kicked a helmet and broke her toe?
No, I'm thinking she was like, listen, I need somebody to hit me.
No, I think she's good actress.
Flick my nipple.
No, oh my God.
What is happening?
This is not appropriate at all.
Yeah, that probably didn't happen. You're right.
Yeah. You should have asked her that at the
Yes.
panel and see how well that goes
If
over.
I would have noticed this scene.
No, you wouldn't have.
All right, 51 seconds. We've got a cavalry charge of white cloaks charging into, I'm guessing, Falma, right? We see a Shanshan soldier. They all have their shields on their back, though. If you were charging into a fortress, or not a fortress, but I guess it is a fortress.
You don't do a
No, but
cavalry
you don't have-
charge to attack a wall. This
You're-
is like, hi, we're announcing we're here.
But like,
This is,
they're charging full speed, and they're pretty close. It looks like.
yeah, but you don't do a cavalry charge into a wall. Like, it doesn't do anything.
Oh yeah,
horses
they
just
do.
die.
The
They did that in
Faldarans
season one,
did it
yeah.
in season 1. What are you talking about?
They were just trying to get to that fort as quickly as possible.
Yeah,
What-
how are they
what
going
are
to
they
charge
talk-
through that tiny door? They can't.
Maybe they're trying to charge through the door, but their shields, if their shields are on there, I mean, you're not going to ride with your shield in front of you, I guess.
Maybe
Oh,
they
God.
rode up and now they're going to stop there and like one person is going to go
Yeah,
forward.
the dust is kicking up. Maybe they all just went, whoa, right before the
I'm
yeah.
gonna make some leaps here, right?
Oh, leap.
In the BTS footage, we saw the shot of white cloaks charging in the desert with all of the dirt kicked up, right? We've seen shots also in the BTS footage of the Shanshan sitting out in the courtyard looking out to the gate. And we just saw a similar shot in this of the Shanshan in the courtyard looking out to the gate, and Turok and them getting into battle positions. And then we see this. This is
Those like
Shanshan.
5 guys are going to stop this.
But why aren't
army
they? Why don't they
charging
have their
horses?
shields out?
Why don't they
Because
just
they're on
close
the
gate?
horse. Why would they need? How are you going to hold a shield and your sword and the horse?
Are you kidding
hold on to
me?
the horse.
Have you not seen? Do you not know with like?
I've not seen.
Have you not been to medieval times? Have you not been to medieval times? Have you
I
not been
have
to
been
a
to
Renaissance
medieval
fair? Have you not seen a joust? They
I've
ride
never
up,
seen a
they
joust
charge
in
on their
person.
horse with a shield and a giant fucking lance.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, but that's a joust. And the horses just ride. I don't know.
Why have a shield if you're not going to ride into battle?
Because
with
when
your
you get
shield
off
up?
your horse, you need it.
No,
yeah.
you hold the shield in front of you and you fight
So how
with
do you
the
hold
sword
the reins?
with your hand. So the shield goes
And-
on your arm, and then you're also holding the reins with the shield on your arm.
But your horses are also at this point kind of trained to like you're pointing them in a direction and you're kind of using your legs to guide them a little bit too.
Also, yes.
I mean, that's why I don't think like first of all like it's
All
not a
right, there's
to me,
Erin.
this is not a
Erin in our
battle
chat.
because
Erin's in our chat. She rides horses, if I remember correctly, and she says you don't hold the reins knee steer.
yeah,
All right.
there you go. To me, it's just more like if they were attacking, the Shanshan would just close the gate, and then they couldn't get in because they were on horses. It's like it doesn't like, and it's a wall. Like I think this is like to me the reason their shields on their back is that this is white cloak overconfidence. This is we are here and we protect this land and we're judging you or
I
whatever.
buy
Like
that. I buy that. White cloak's just ignorance and overconfidence. I like that, Tom. I'll buy that. All right. Oh. Now we just passed something that I want to. It's so quick. I'm sorry, people. Okay, here we are, 52 seconds. We've got a dark figure holding a sword up in the air. This is the other shot that I was talking about that reminds me of the scene with, we think was Maureen on the horse from the BTS footage. That this is like the other person. So then is Maureen like holding her dagger and like on the floor right now? Like, what is this? What's going on?
This person looks like they just killed something with that sword,
looks
and
like
they're
it has
coming
blood
up
on it.
out of a stab.
This is like a second stab.
That's like a no. That's like a I'm retrieving. Look, if you play it, he's like pulling his sword out of whatever.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
That's what I think. That's what it looks like to me.
Oh, I thought they were raising their sword to stab.
I mean, they could be, but it looks like they're
kills the horse.
pulling it up.
It's just them pulling it up.
Because
so
it's
yeah,
like
it's
very fresh. Looks like fresh blood.
And they're in. This could be that same area we think looks like a grave or something like that.
So, Mayhem saying, I agree with the people on Dusty Wheel. I think this is him killing Aldi. I think this is him killing the horse.
Oh,
Why
so
does
after
Aldi have to die?
So this is that scene where Aldi gets like rears up, Moraine falls off the horse, and this is the person stabbing Aldi.
Yeah, maybe like Moraine runs and hides, and the horse's like leg is messed up or whatever. And this guy's like, "Well, I'll kill the horse. She can't run away then."
Is this the person who was looking at the gravestone?
Yeah, that's what I think. Yeah, I think this is that same scene.
Thing. The shoulders are right where the head is. You know?
It's a weird. Doesn't look like a fade to me.
It doesn't. No, it doesn't look like a fade
it's
at
not.
all.
That does look like a fade sword, though.
It does.
It does.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just a weird angle
with a serrated blade and whatnot.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I still like to know what's going on with that. All right, we're getting close. All right, we got Sean Chen charging. This totally looks like those shots on the parapets that we saw of Morocco on the Scala Medina. I think.
I prefer Funky Cold.
Yeah,
Medina,
I think that was what it was called. I love this Sean Chen armor.
It's so man.
I love their costuming. It's amazing.
These guys are all.
Oh my God! Look at the guy on the left here, all the way to the left. He looks like he's not wearing any pants.
He's wearing orangey.
Yeah, look at the guy that like right behind him. He's wearing like orange pants too.
Yeah.
He's got to zoom in.
I want to open this now. Hold on. If I can get this shot.
You want to see if you can see ass hair? Assland.
All right, here we go. I'm pulling it up right now.
I can't wait.
I know you can. All right, let's get over here.
Aaron, I know he's wearing
this guy.
Pants.
The guy on the left here. That looks like bare ass.
No,
it's not.
No.
No, it does look like it.
It's orange.
I don't think it is. It also looks the same color as the pants. Closer to him.
All right, I guess I was wrong. Sorry, everybody.
It's all right. We got to make sure.
Sorry to disappoint.
Me.
We got another egg. Wait, look at this. How many? No, I went. It's so much going on in seconds.
Yeah, you skipped.
All right.
Skipped,
here we go. What is this? So we're at 50. We're still at 52 seconds. I've called out 52 seconds about 3 or 4 times now. There's so much going on and so quickly. So this is.
No, this looks like Mysterio. I don't know what's happening here.
This is that Torok? It's bald. Look, it's a bald guy.
No, is that a helmet?
I thought it was a helmet.
No,
sure?
I think that's no, because there's nothing above the head.
Keep clicking though. Just.
Yeah, maybe.
I think this is Torok.
He gets blowed up.
Oh man, see that's not. It's not fireworks.
I don't.
First, I thought it was fireworks when I first started watching it, but.
Is this a ship? Is this a boat? Look at all the rope on the left side here.
My first thought that was the inside of a gate, but maybe it is a rope, a boat. It definitely is a rope.
Noman Garden thinks it's a ship as well. I think this looks like a boat because of all the rope there. To me, that
Maybe this
indicates
is Belle Doman's boat getting taken. Or maybe Turok tries to sail
Why would he
away.
burn up his a Sean? Why would they burn up a Sean-chin?
I don't know. This is intriguing, right? We've got. It appears to be a ship. At least to me, it looks like a ship. And we've got a Sean Chen consumed in flame. I don't know. Is this their retreat? Is this the Sean Chen like leaving
Yeah, maybe
Falma?
they're trying to book.
And who would be
maybe
shooting
this is
fire
Egway
though?
going.
Egwene?
Egway going, fuck yo ships.
They should have never given you Sean Chen money. Fuck your ship, Sean Chen.
Exactly.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what that is. And that's it. That's all we've got. That's the end of it, everybody.
Oh my god, that's it.
That's all we've got. It was
believe it.
literally about 30 seconds of season 2 footage. Because there was about the first 22 seconds or so was the recap of season 1, and then the next 30 seconds was.
So people are asking just about what the feel in the room was when this clip was played.
Mhm.
And I don't know. All I could think about at the time was what was the feel in my head. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I think
I don't
I mean
remember.
all the clips, like the Maureen clip had a good reaction, not a great reaction.
There was
good
cheering.
reaction. I don't think anybody
Yeah.
knew what the hell she was talking about that didn't know the show. The cold open episode 7 clip got a big reaction from everybody, like while it was playing and then afterwards. And I think people like kind of oohed and awed, but I think that I don't recall it being like there was no standing ovations or anything like that.
No. There was a lot of whooping and that, but that, we were whooping a lot, like for everything.
Yeah.
So, but there were other people whooping too. So,
Yeah.
I think when the clip started, I was like, there was the warning about the flashing and the seizures.
Yeah,
I thought I was going to have a seizure.
I don't know why they did that. That was very, very
Van
weird.
said he could hear us in the crowd.
You probably could hear us in the crowd. Like
yeah, we were pretty close to the front.
We were very close. Yeah.
I was going to say like if like the panelists on the stage would have definitely known where we were because like literally our spot, like we were the people on their left, like constantly cheering.
Yeah, and it turned out like when Joe got up to ask his question, I was like, oh, they could just see us. Like,
yeah, they turned the house lights on. And I want to say this. I want to say this on the record. I'm 90% positive that I saw a flash of recognition in Rafe's eyes when he saw me. That's all I'm going to say.
I don't know about when he saw you, but I will say when you said where you were from, I did see like a little nod, like, and I'll take that.
Yes.
I'll take that.
I think
I was looking for everybody.
Me.
I didn't see a little nod from the actors on the show.
No, not them. Just
I
Rafe.
wanted them to be like, "Oh my God, Tucker Unriad, we all listen to you guys."
If like
That's
Juliet was there, maybe there would have been
Well, if Juliet was there, we would have been communicating before the show, and
that's true.
We're friends.
We would have went out to dinner afterwards.
We would have.
Yes, we would have went out to dinner.
We would have went out to Golden Crust afterwards, right?
Golden Crust, I think we probably would have taken it. Yeah. I don't know. It was. I think that the panel, the way that they structured the panel, served its purpose. I think that people who weren't interested in the show or knew a lot about the show really got a lot from the clips that they showed and from the panelists themselves. I think that like there was a lot of, I think, really sincere talk from all the people that were on the show, and I think it was engaging. So yeah, I think that it served its purpose. They got some converts.
Yeah. Oh, I definitely think so. I think showing we talked about this beforehand, right? We were talking about what we're going to get. And I had said, and I think you both agreed with me that if you're pairing this with the Rings of Power panel and you're putting Wheel of Time panel first, the clear intention is to draw the fans of the Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power into the Wheel of Time. Mm-hmm. And for that reason, I was very confident that we'd get some good footage. Right, because they're not going to do the panel and not show any footage, and then Rings of Power people are just going to be like, okay, why do we have to sit through this? Right. So clearly showing the cold open for episode 7 was for the Rings of Power fans to try to draw people in there. So we did kind of get that. It was a little different than I thought, but we did get season 2 footage, which I was expecting. We didn't get a release month, which is what I was hoping to get. But I will say this:
Yeah, good.
sitting through the Rings of Power panel, there was a stark contrast in the feel, the just the panels themselves. Right. First of all, you had Felicia Day was moderating the Rings of Power panel, who's just like a force of personality. And she talked. She might have talked more than the panelists did.
Yeah, she did.
Yes.
But the actors. So you also got the contrast of like the Wheel of Time. Most of the actors are young and new, and this is like the first real thing they've done, right? With the exception of maybe Madeline Madden, who was in Dora and whatnot, and Picnic at Coffin Rock. Like for the most part, they're young, they're inexperienced. This is new, and they were probably a little nervous and anxious for it. For the Rings of Power panel, those actors were like just chill, relaxed. They were They had us in stitches for half the panel because they were like funny, playing off each other really well. And they're all more experienced actors, and so you definitely got that difference between the two panels, I would say.
There was also, I think, with that though, the questioning and the whole discussion points of the panel were completely different because the Lord of the Rings panel, the Rings of Power panel, was talking about what happened in the first 6 episodes of the show. There was no, like, other than the constant joke of like who Sauron, like there was no real prying into like what's down the line, what's coming for your characters, like what's going to happen next. So there wasn't a lot of questioning that would cause people to really say, well, I can't talk about that, or I don't know about that.
I was just thinking No,
I think you're right.
Yeah, they're just
Benjamin
more comfortable.
Benjamin Walker
he
was
was hilarious,
unbelievably good, and the actor who plays the stranger was really, really good too. The two of them literally anchored the lines, and the women, I don't watch the show, so I don't know any of the actresses' names.
Nazanin
but all of the women, I think, had like
and Cynthia
one or two points where like they really just kind of like got to shine. I think they did a good job of doing that.
Yeah, they were more comfortable, I think, on the panel than the Wheel of Time. And like I said, I think it's just because they're younger. This is new to them.
Yeah.
So I think they weren't as comfortable, or as that's all I'm gonna say. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying there was a stark contrast to the tone of the panels just because of that. You're dealing with experienced actors who've done stuff like this before and are very comfortable talking. In panels.
Were saying earlier on, like you could tell the differences between Daniel Henney was like the guy who was like, if there was like, he would jump in.
Yeah,
he was the one, and they would all look
done panels before.
They kept looking at him too, like when the moderator would ask a question, like Madeline and Marcus would look at Daniel Henney to like answer first, and he was clearly more comfortable talking. But obviously besides Rafe, he was the most comfortable talking about it. And I think it's just because he's more experienced of an actor and things like that. So.
I think their heads always turned whether they were looking at Rafe or they were looking at Daniel. They always every question they would look.
There were a few times where they were like, they looked to Rafe to be like, can I say this? Like, am I allowed to like mention the word Aiel? Like that kind of a vibe.
Yes,
right?
Yes. Madeline mentioned it.
I think they're so locked down on this show. They have to be like super duper cautious, right? I think about, I'm a big fan of the Marvel movies, clearly. See from behind me, but like as like those movies progressed, they started having to put certain actors together on the press corps because like Mark Ruffalo and what's his face plays Spider-Man, I'm like on the name right now, Tom Holland would not be able to keep their mouth shut and would just give things away in interviews by accident. So they started having to like pair them with actors who would be able to like cut them off, right? So I think there's a little bit of like being so overly cautious not to give anything away that they don't want to give it away because for whatever reason secrecy is like the primary thing with this show. So
all right, so we've covered everything, I think, or at least as much as we can cover. We've been talking for over 2 hours now too, so I think this is a
Sorry,
good
Joe.
place to wrap it up. We spent a lot of time talking about stuff before we even got to the video footage, but that's fine. I think we had some good conversation in there, and I wouldn't go back
And I
and
think we
change
spent a lot
anything.
of time working on the stuff that everyone didn't get to see. And I think that's important for people. So.
Yes. Yes. So I think this is a good place to wrap it up here. Jen, do we have any patrons to thank?
We do. We have one new patron joining the Illuminators Guild.
Ooh.
We have Arosa_MG. So thank you very much for your pledge. Thank you to all of our patrons.
Thank you.
And to everyone who is listening tonight who might not be a patron, why not join up? It's $1 a month, and you can listen to every one of our shows and have fun every week with us.
Yeah, you can listen live. I want to remind everyone to follow us on social media. You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Join us over in Discord to continue the conversation there. I'm going to say this also about Discord, right? We talked on our anniversary live stream about doing our 4 weeks of giveaways. We wanted to diversify where the giveaways are going to be happening, because not everybody's on Twitter and not everybody's on Instagram and whatnot. So we're going to rotate between different social medias. So this next giveaway is going to be through our Discord. But we will post on social media how to enter the giveaway. Tom will be coming up with a very clever question about this episode for you to answer, and just keep an eye on Discord, Twitter, Instagram, wherever. We'll direct you there how to enter that. Congratulations to Anas for winning the first week's trivia question. Anas won a Tuck Around Riyadh t-shirt. Also want to mention you can rate and review us wherever you listen to podcasts. Check out our merchandise and the aforementioned Patreon page that Jen talked about to support us that way if you like. Links to all the aforementioned information is included in the show notes to the episode. I think the only link, well, there'll be 2 links. There'll be a link to the teaser that they showed, and also to the Rosamund video. I think those are 2 separate links. So we'll include those in the show notes as well. This will also be released on YouTube. So if you want, you can watch along the clips with us on YouTube if you're having trouble following us on just the
I
normal
shaved
podcast.
this morning, so might as well watch it on video.
Yeah. Any final thoughts, Jen or Tom, before we go?
Mets up 7-2.
Wow.
Nice. Go Mets.
Go Mets.
All right. Comic-Con was awesome. It was a lot of fun. I'm very excited that they tweeted out a picture of me, the Wheel of Time panel. So thank you to the Tweeter of Chaos for doing that. I appreciate that very much. And thank you to all who are listening. Yeah.
Bye, everybody.
You'll hear us or see us next time.